Okay, are we ready to record?
Recording in progress.
This meeting is being recorded.
Good morning. The City of Boston Zoning Board of Appeal hearing for December 13th is now in session. The hearing is being conducted in accordance with the applicable provisions of the open meeting law, including the updated provisions enacted by the legislature regarding virtual hearings. The new law allows the board to continue its practice of holding virtual hearings through March 2023. The hearing of the board is being held remotely via the Zoom webinar event platform. The hearing is also being live streamed. In order to ensure the hearing of the board is open to the public, members of the public may access this hearing through telephone and video conferencing. The information for connecting to this hearing is listed on today's hearing agenda, which is posted on the public notices page of the city's website, boston.gov. Members of the public will enter the virtual hearing as attendees, which means you will not see yourself on the screen and you will be muted throughout unless administratively unmuted when asked to comment. Board members, applicants, and their attorneys or representatives will participate in the hearing as panelists, and they will appear alongside the presentation materials when speaking. Panelists are strongly encouraged to keep video on while presenting to the board. As with our in-person meetings, comments in support will be followed by comments in opposition. The order of comments is as follows: elected officials, representatives of elected officials, and members of the public. The chair may limit the number of people called upon to offer comment, and the time for commenting as time constraints require. For that reason, the board prefers to hear from members of the public who are most impacted by a project. That is, those individuals who live closest to the project. If you wish to comment on an appeal, please click the raise hand button along the bottom of your screen in the Zoom webinar platform. Click it again and your hand should go down. When the host sees your hand, you will receive a request to unmute yourself. Select yes and you should be able to talk. If you are connected to the hearing by telephone, please press star 9 to raise and lower your hand. You must press star 6 to unmute yourself after you receive the request from the host. Those called upon to comment will be asked to state their name and address first before they provide their comment. In the interest of time and to ensure that you have enough time to do so, please raise your hand as soon as Mr. Fortune reads the address into the record. Do not raise your hand before the relevant address is called, or the meeting host will not know to call on you at the appropriate time. Before we begin today's session, I'd like to make some additional comments. I understand that the City Council intends to vote on the mayor's nominees to replace the current board tomorrow. Today is the last session of 2022. The next board meeting is not until January 10th of next year, so I am assuming that this will be the last meeting of the current board. I have previously thanked Chair Arajo for her many years of service. Today, I would like to mention some others. Mark Fortune has served for over 10 years, many as board secretary. His booming, steady voice has provided a reassuring backdrop to our work as he reads the cases into the record. Mark's experience and understanding of the quirks of the ZBA will be missed. Thank you, Mark. I'd also like to thank Eric Robinson, even though he is not in attendance today. While Eric has only been the board architect for a relatively short time, he has made his mark. His deep knowledge of design issues has allowed him to cut to the chase, differentiating between projects that can work versus those that won't work or need more work. Eric had to fill the large shoes of Anthony Pisani, who set a high bar for board architects and has done it well. Thank you, Eric. For the holdovers who will continue on the board, I wish you good luck as you take up the dozens of cases we consider each session going forward. I'd also like to thank the other board members who will be leaving, as well as Jeff Hampton of the BPDA, Jessica Thomas, Tom Broom, Stephanie Haynes, and the staff at ISD. For my part, I will miss the ZBA. I served over 9 years through 4 mayoral administrations. It has been a privilege and an education, looking at plans to change and hopefully improve every nook and cranny of the city. At its best, the board represents democracy with a small d, allowing our residents to weigh in on how their city is going to be transformed, from a single roof dormer to a skyscraper. To all of those I have met in performing this service, thank you for adding to my education. At times, the issues that come before the ZBA can be the clearest expression of what kind of city all of us want. The instructions about the process that I mentioned before may be repeated throughout the hearing. Today's board consists of just 5 members, the minimum for a quorum. All 5 votes will be necessary for a project to be approved. As a result, any applicant may choose to take an administrative deferral until a larger board is seated. In addition, I believe one of our members, Ms. Dong, has to leave sometime after noon, so we will have to adjourn at that time at whatever point we are in the agenda because we will no longer have a quorum. Having said all of that, I'd like to take a roll call of attendance of the board members. Mr. Fortune,
I'm here, Mr. Chair.
Ms. Dong,
Present.
Ms. Barraza,
Present.
Ms. Loeb. Hi there. Okay, so we have our quorum of 5. Mr. Hampton from the BPDA, are you there?
Good morning, Mr. Chairman.
Good morning. All right, now, Mr. Fortune, we'll begin with the call of the list.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you for the kind words. Thank you for what you've done for the city of Boston as well. I'm sitting on the board. Thank you. First order of business is the approval of the hearing minutes of November 1st, 2022. We need a motion.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second, Secretary.
Mr. Fortune,
Yes.
Ms. Dong,
Yes.
Ms. Barraza,
Yes.
Ms. Loeb,
Yes.
and I am in favor. The motion passes.
On the first case with building code, calling BOA 140-7922, 150 West Newton Street. This is to construct a new roof deck. Building code, the violation is 9th edition, 780 CMR 1011 stairways, 1011.12.2 roof access, where a stairway is provided to a roof. Access to that roof shall be provided through a penthouse compliant with section 1510.2. Exception, in buildings without an occupied roof, access to that roof shall be permitted to be a roof hatch or trapdoor not less than 16 square feet in an area and having a minimum dimension of 2 feet. Name and address for the record, please.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, members of the board. John Moran, Alpine Advisory Services, with the mailing address of 130 Beach Road, Orleans, Mass. Mr. Chair, we seek a variance from the required head house access for means of egress to the proposed roof deck, which is otherwise conforming as designed as a matter of right to the building code. Submit that the hatch request is an acceptable compliance alternative to the head house. ISD has customarily approved access by a hatch below the 4th floor level and thus has deemed it as an equivalent level of safety and has also deemed it to constitute not a distinct hazard. Based upon the determination that the hatch is an acceptable compliance alternative under section 3412, compliance alternatives of the state building code, we respectfully request that the board exercise its discretion and grant a variance to permit the project access as designed.
Okay, Mr. Moran, I'm sure you know that this board far prefers hatches to head houses in terms of access to roof decks. So is this a single-family home?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so it'll be for use for the entire building. All right, how are the plans, Ms. Barraza?
Mr. Chair, the plans are adequate.
All right, can I have a motion to grant the relief requested?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to put forward a motion of approve the building code relief for the roof hatch.
Second.
Mr. Fortune,
Yes.
Ms. Dong,
Yes.
Ms. Barraza,
Yes.
Ms. Loeb,
Yes.
and I too am in favor. The motion passes.
Mr. Chair, I would like to thank you for your service along with the secretary and wish you good luck. And to Eric Rom, who's not present, thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm going to call the 9:30 hearings for any deferrals or withdrawals. As you heard the chair say, we have a 5-member board, so you need to have 5 in support. So if anybody wants a administrative deferral, they can. So it is either deferrals or withdrawals. Give me the address first if you're going to defer or withdraw.
70 Wayland Street, Mr. Secretary.
Thank you. For the record, calling BOA 140-5922, 70 Whalen Street. Name and address for the record.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, members of the board. Attorney Matt Eckel with Drago and Toscano with the business address of 11 Beacon Street. We are seeking an administrative deferral this morning.
Can I have a motion, please?
Motion to defer.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Fortune?
Yes.
Ms. Dong?
Yes.
Ms. Braza?
Yes.
Ms. Logue?
Yes.
Name in favor, the motion is granted.
You'll have a date of February 28th at 9:30.
Thank you very much.
333 Chelsea Street.
Thank you. Hold on 2 seconds. For the record, calling BOA 140-6240, 333 Chelsea Street. Name and address for the record, please.
Maureen Scatino from Richard Linz's office, 245 Sumner Street in East Boston. Just requesting an administrative deferral on this matter.
Motion to defer.
Is there a second?
Baraza, second.
Mr. Fortune?
Yes.
Dong?
Yes.
Braza?
Yes.
Ms. Logue?
Yes.
And I too am in favor. The request is granted.
That also will be a date of February 28th at 9:30.
Thank you, and thank you all again.
Thank you. Are there any other deferrals or withdrawals? If you give me the address first, please. Hearing none, call the first case. Calling case VOA 136-6887, 21 Arden Street. This is a change of occupancy from a two-family and three-family. This is to remove the existing roof and accommodate new addition and dormers. The violation, Article 67, Section 9, the floor area ratio is excessive. Article 67, Section 9, the building height is excessive in stories. Article 67, Section 9, the front yard is insufficient. And Article 67, Section 9, the side yard is insufficient. Name and address for the record, please.
Caller, is that you, 617-327? Are you here to present this case? I sent a request to unmute you. Is the applicant on for this case? Kim, oh, 1 second, Ms. Kim.
Hello?
Yeah.
Hello? Hello, my name is Daniel Rafferty. I'm a resident of 19 Arden Street. I'm the abutter to 21 Arden
Oh,
Street.
we're not taking testimony at this point. Give me 1 second.
We're looking for the applicant.
Okay.
Okay, Kim, I do see that you're on. I sent a request to unmute you. Okay, go ahead, Kim. Can you hear us? Hi, Kim.
Yes, hi. Our architect was supposed to be here today.
What's his name? What's the architect's name? Is he on?
Yeah, let me look it up.
Stephen Pettipaw.
You said Stephen what?
I think it's Stephen Pettipaw, am I correct?
So we wouldn't want to go forward unless he was here, and I couldn't tell whether he was here or not, so we would like a deferral as well.
Okay, yeah, is he, do you know he's?
I don't think he's here, Mr. Chair.
Okay.
I don't see his name up there. Usually he's up there.
All right, can I have a motion, please?
Motion to defer. Second.
Mr. Fortune?
Yes.
Dong?
Yes.
Ms. Braza?
Yes.
Ms. Logue? Ms. Logue?
You're muted.
Oh, is it working? Yes.
Okay, I'm in favor of the motion for deferral, request for deferral has been granted.
We'll also have the date of February 28th at 9:30.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Calling the next case, calling BOA 138-2057, 37R West Milton Street. This is a combination of parcels to create a new 13,800 square foot lot and erect a 2.5-story addition on an existing dwelling. This will be above ground level garage and bridge over the driveway for vehicular passage. Violation of Article 69, Section 9, the rear yard is insufficient. Name and address for the record, please.
José Santos,
Name and address, please.
37, José Santos, 37 West Milton Street, Boston.
Okay, can you tell us what you're proposing?
If you scroll down, on the first picture, you can see the house and the old garage. My proposal is rebuild this garage and have a bridge connecting the second floor of the garage with the house. The violation says about going too far back. Yes, that picture shows the existing house. The existing house has, I believe, 10 feet from the easement access. My garage is going to go over only 5 feet more. My new garage is going to be still very far from the easement. Also, the easement ends in my lot. So basically, it's part of my lot and won't be used as an accessment easement. So all I'm asking is to allow me to have the garage, how is on this picture here, is still before the house. And after that measure, I believe 10 feet, we still have 20 feet of easement access. And after that limit line in the back is only warehouses, no residentials. So we have plenty of space. All I'm asking is you guys approve 5 feet more on my new garage.
Okay, so the proposed new garage will be connected to the house now?
Yes.
Okay, and can you scroll back up to that plot plan there? So the easement that you're talking about is that little, that narrow, vertical on the page that goes up to the garage, correct?
Oh, no, I have two easements. I have one easement that goes to the front lot and one easement where it says in the top of the draw.
Oh, I see, 20-foot access easement.
Yeah.
That's what you're talking about.
So the easement is in my property and basically it ends in my property.
Oh, okay, so the new proposed structure will be 5 foot closer to that easement, that's what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay, all right. I think we now understand. Do you have are there any drawings of the building itself, either plans or elevations?
Yes, it's all here. Everything that gave to me. If you go down, there's the front elevation, that existing garage.
Existing.
Yeah. And if you go down, that's the new plot plan for the second floor garage and the bridge. And I think there's elevation here. Yes, that's the elevation.
Okay,
That's the
got it.
second floor of the house.
Okay, all right. I think that's fairly clear. Ms. Barraza, how are the drawings?
Mr. Chair, the plans are adequate. I don't really have any questions. The modifications are minor.
Okay. Any questions from the board? Is there anyone here to speak on this project?
Yes, Mr. Chair, members of the board, Connor Newman with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. This time, the Mayor's Office would like to defer to the judgment of the board. The background information on the community process, our office held a butters meeting on February 27th. The applicant went on to attend the Reedville Watch Neighborhood Association meeting in October and received their support from the group. So far, our office has received no letters of opposition, and we're unaware of any concerns at this time. That would defer to the board. Thank you.
Anyone
Mr. Chair, I have no raised hands at the moment, Mr. Chair.
Raise hands. All right, can I have a motion, please?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to put forward a motion of approval.
Mr. Hampton, do we want design review?
I would like some, yes, please.
Okay, with design review. I'll give you the work.
Second.
I'd say it's not coming to my desk, Ms. Brown.
All right, Mr. Fortune,
Yes.
Ms. Dawn,
Yes.
Ms. Barraza,
Yes.
Ms. Loeb,
Yes.
and I too am in favor. The motion passes. Good luck, Mr. Santos.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Have a great day.
Calling the next two cases, calling BOA 140-6395, 19 Sanford Street. There's a companion case, BOA 140-6420, 19A Sanford Street. This is the 19. This is 2 dwellings on the same lot. Violation Article 55, Section 65-401, off-street parking is insufficient. Article 65, Section 42.13, 2 or more dwellings on the same lot. Article 65, Section 9, lot width is insufficient. Article 65, Section 9, lot frontage is insufficient. Article 65, Section 9, the floor area ratio is excessive. And Article 65, Section 9, the side yard is insufficient. This is for 19A Sanford. Build a new 3-family building on the same lot of 19 Sanford Street. The violation, Article 55, Section 65-41, off-street parking is insufficient. Article 65, Section 60-8, 3-family detached dwelling is forbidden. Article 65, Section 32, this is in the NDOT review area. Article 65, Section 42.13, 2 or more dwellings on the same lot. Article 65, Section 9, lot area is insufficient. Article 65, Section 9, lot width is insufficient. Article 65, Section 9, lot frontage is insufficient. Article 65, Section 9, the floor area ratio is excessive. Article 65, Section 9, the building height is excessive in story. Article 65, Section 9, the building height is excessive in feet. Article 65, Section 9, front yard is insufficient. Article 65, Section 9, side yard is insufficient. And Article 65, Section 9, the rear yard is insufficient. Name and address for the record, please.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Chair and members of the board. My name is Cesar De Silva. I'm here with owner Aldo Rodriguez. We are here seeking variance for the 19A Sanford Street to build the 3-family beside the existing building, which is 90. Before we begin, Mr. Chair, thank you very much for your service and good future in your careers. And if anybody has any question, please ask the question and I will answer. Here is the example of the building that we plan to propose, that we propose for the 19A of 19A Safford Street. Let me see, here is the example. Does anybody have any question?
Can we look at the plot plan?
Okay, yes. I'm sorry, something just, okay.
Yeah, we'll get it back. Okay.
Right here. We have the building to the right. We have 5 feet from the property line. And in the front, we have 7 feet. And between the buildings, we have 11.9 feet. And in the back, there we have, for us to the back, another maybe 5-6 feet.
Okay, so there's 11'9" between the 2 buildings. What is that area? Is that going to be grass? What is it used for?
It'll be a space, it could be grass or pavement in between the 2 between the 2 space.
Is there any off-street parking?
No, in that location, we don't have off-street parking, but we can put parking right between the 2 buildings.
Well, that's what I was asking. That's not what the plans show, though, for now.
No, we didn't have off-street parking, but we see as a board that we can use that for parking.
All right. Can we scroll down and take a look at the floor plans? It appears to me, Mr. De Silva, that you're really pretty much taking up almost all the room on these lots. Is that correct?
Yes, but we still have some open space on all sides. We have 7 foot up front, 5 foot on the left, and then the back and side. We have, green area, front, side, and back.
And on the front end, the distance from the sidewalk to the front of the house, is that modal? Is that similar to other houses in the area? How did you determine that?
Yeah, yes. It actually matches with the other property in the same line.
Okay. All right. Can we keep scrolling down, please?
Oh.
Yeah. Okay.
Basement. This is the first floor. We have living, dining, and the kitchen. We have 3 bedrooms and laundry in the bathroom.
Do you have basements in these houses?
Yes, there is a basement space there. The foundation, because there may be an old building there, so we take advantage of taking the old dirt up to the virgin soil, so then we might as well put a basement.
Okay, so, but the basement is not occupied, it's just
No,
storage?
not at all, not at all.
Okay. All right, and here's the elevations, okay. All right,
If you want the elevation, all the other floors are the same. This is the elevations to the right side, front and back,
okay,
and a little bit the left side with it.
all right. Okay, I think, how are the drawings, Ms. Barraza?
Mr. Chair, the drawings are adequate. I just would like for the applicant to confirm that your lot is indeed 5,153 square feet.
It is what the paper says. Yeah.
Okay.
The land, it was land survey. Certified.
Okay, and your current your current structure is indeed a 3-family, correct?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so I just would like the board to notice that currently there's a 3-family on a zoned, where the zoning is a 1-family, 6,000 square feet.
Do you know, do you have a sense, Ms. Barraza, of what the various abutting houses are, 1, 2, 3 family, do you know?
Looking at the Google map, Google Earth, they're single family. The structure that they currently have is probably the largest, which is a 3-family, but typically it seems like it's a 1-family. And then diagonally, there's a kind of a larger, almost 3-story structure. But it's
smaller structures, by and large?
They're typically single-family structures in the neighborhood. And the only issue that I'm seeing is you're demolishing a 2-car garage to put another house, and this board also tends to not have 2 separate structures on one lot. So you're replacing open space for more density.
Mr. Hampton, what's the view of the BPDA in this project?
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the board. Jeff Hampton, BPDA. We recommend a denial without prejudice. It is they already have a non-conforming structure on this lot, and this would be creating a new non-conforming structure in a 1-family district. Even the abutting zoning district is only a 2-family, but for the majority of that neighborhood, it's a 1-family district. We think that the applicant has adequate use of the property now as a non-conforming 3.
Okay, thank you. Any questions from the board? Is there anyone here to give testimony on the project?
Morning, Mr. Chair, members of the board. Eric James of the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. The applicant for 19 Sanford Street had an abutters meeting, had 2 abutters meetings on September 26, 2022 and October 10, 2022. They met with the River Street Civic Association, which voted to oppose the project, citing that Sanford Street is a highly dense and narrow 2-way street with no other on-street parking for the current homes that presently exist. They also cite that the community has a history of several monthly car accidents in front of this particular address, and that this project will also increase the neighborhood density and worsen the current traffic issue in this corner presently that it presently has. The Greater Mattapan Neighborhood Council also voted to oppose the project. They proposed that Mr. Helder utilize the ADU program. Mr. Helder did decline to utilize that program, and the GMNT is also concerned with the overcrowding that this project will cause. The project was also met with overwhelming opposition by the community. We have received 7 letters of opposition and 0 letters of support for this project. So at this time, we are electing to defer to the judgment of the board on this matter. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Chair, Secretary, we only have 1 letter from the Mattapan Association. That's it. Opposition.
Okay. Any other testimony?
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Paul Sullivan, City Council at Large, Michael Flaherty. After reviewing correspondence from the GMNT and River Street Civic Association, as well as the 7 abutters in opposition, Council will recommend opposition.
You do have a raised hand here. Gary, go ahead. Can you state your name and address for the record, please?
Yes, Gary Tondorf, 31 Old Morton Street. I'm the butter across the street, two-family. Most of the houses are single-family in the neighborhood. Sanford is a very busy two-way street, which is too narrow for cars to pass without pulling over. And this house is on a curve. We see this as a safety issue because also they are not providing any parking on the site. They're actually removing the parking that currently exists on the site. So the project would result in overcrowding and too much density on the lot and be a safety problem relative to Sanford Street at Old Morton Street, which is a very dangerous intersection. So I'm speaking in opposition to the project. I submitted a letter on this particular application and the one following in opposition too. Thanks for your consideration.
Thank you.
I have no additional raised hands.
Okay, can I have a motion, please?
Mr. Chair, I would like to put forward a motion of denial.
Denial, straight denial, or denial without prejudice?
A straight denial based on what I heard in terms of all the feedback. But I do like the suggestion of applying for the pilot ADU.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, Mr. Fortune?
Yes.
Ms. Dong?
Yes.
Ms. Baraza?
Yes.
Ms. Logue?
Yes.
And I too am in favor. The proposal has been denied.
Calling the next case, calling BOA 139-2764, 804 to 808 Huntington Avenue. This is erect a three-story building fronting the Huntington Ave, approximately 58,373 square feet of office, laboratory, research, and development with approximately 4,746 feet of retail space. Parking will be included below grade. The violation is Article 59, Section 15. Research laboratory use is conditional. Name and address for the record, please.
Sorry, there's a raised hand here. Brent, are you looking at, is this your case? I sent a request to unmute you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Chair and board members. For the record, Brent McDonald from Nutter, McLennan and Fish with offices at 155 Seaport Boulevard in Boston. Here today representing 804 Huntington Avenue LLC, the owner and developer of this property. If you go to the next slide, this property is on a through lot with frontage on Huntington and Frawley Streets, as well as frontage in the back on Hillside Street. Currently contains a 1.5-story vacant commercial building in a state of disrepair, as well as an approximately 84-space surface parking lot in the residential portion of the lot. If you go to the next slide, you can see that the front half of the property along Huntington and Frawley Street is within the neighborhood shopping district. The rear half is within the 3F 2000 sub-district. If you go to the next slide, you can see an overview of the project. The applicant did go through the Article 80 process and received approval from the BPDA on August 11th for a two-building development. It's approximately 63,000 square foot building in the neighborhood shopping district for office, lab, and R&D with a home ownership 23-unit building in the back within the residential district. This project has been designed to dimensionally comply with all requirements of the Boston zoning code. We are here today seeking a conditional use permit for a research laboratory use within the commercial building that fronts on Huntington Avenue. This would be a use that would occur on the second and third stories of the building, as well as an entrance lobby from Huntington Avenue. This building also would potentially include office and ground floor retail, both of which are allowed uses in this district. We would note that during the Article 80 process and in discussions with the neighborhood, we did commit to the lab and R&D use being at a biosafety level 1 or biosafety level 2. We did go through extensive meetings with neighborhood groups and abutters throughout the process, even before my client acquired the property, including with the Mission Hill Neighborhood Housing Services, which owns the Frawley Apartments that are directly abut this project, and you can see on their screen here, as well as with the Roxbury tenants of Harvard, which have the development across Huntington Avenue. You should have a letter of support in your files from the Mission Hill Neighborhood Housing Services in support of our request for this conditional use permit. There are additional floor plans and renderings in this slide deck if you'd like to see them. The renderings in sort of the last two slides in the slide deck, but this is just a site plan sort of showing the overview from aerials. The next couple slides are all floor plans, but if you want to scroll to slides 12 and 13, you can see some renderings of what this would look like. This is from Huntington Avenue, looking directly at the building with the lobby access to the upper level research lab on the right and retail commercial on the left of the ground level. And the next slide shows the same sort of from the corner of Frawley and Huntington. You can see the Mission Hill Neighborhood Housing Services, the brick building in the back, and you can see the Mass Eye and Ear outpatient medical office facility off to the left of the screen. We're here if you have any questions.
Okay, thank you. So the reality is, I mean, the ordinary kind of process we go through about looking at the floor plans and the elevations and the FAR and all that stuff is, everything here is as of right except for the conditional use of the lab space, correct?
That is correct, Chair.
Okay. Will this be a university-affiliated labs, private labs? What will they be?
A tenant has not yet been identified, so still going through the process. My client is on it as well.
So this is a spec lab building?
Yes, at the moment. There is no tenant identified.
Okay, all right. All right, well, given that that's really the only issue that we are confronted with, Ms. Braz will ask you how the plans are, but in some ways it doesn't matter.
The plans are adequate, but I do have a question regarding the residential building. It seems like we're looking at only the lab building. Where's the planning phase for the residential building? Where's that at?
I believe that the plans are still ongoing for the residential building. That is a dimensionally and use compliant building, so that does not need any further relief, but that process would be coming forward in the future.
Do you have a sense in terms of whether it's being planned to go through development in 5 years or 15 years? Because it was mentioned in one of the support letters.
Robert Schlager, Bullfinch Companies, Madam. Yes, our plan is to use that area as a construction staging area. Once the office research and development lab building is complete, we will then proceed to construct the residential component of the project, which is roughly 23 units.
Okay, thank you. No further questions.
Any questions on the board? Is there anyone here to testify on the project?
Yes, good morning, Mr. Chair, members of the board. My name is Maggie Van Squam from the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. At this time, our office would like to defer to the judgment of the board. They went through a robust community process with the BPDA, and they worked with the community on this, which earned them the support of Mission Hill Neighborhood Housing Services. At this time, our office is not aware of any concerns related to this conditional use.
Mr. Chair, we have one letter of the Mission Hill Association support.
Thank you.
And I have no additional raised hands.
Okay, can I have a motion then?
Mr. Chair, I would like to also just compliment the development team for reaching out prior to the purchase of the building. It provided a good practice for development. I would like to put forward a motion of approval with 2 proviso. One is with BPDA design review paying special attention to the penthouse and material on the 4th floor. It just felt very, very, very different than the first 2 stories. And then the second proviso is to ensure that it's limited to biosafety level 1 and 2 as a use.
Yeah, okay, good. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Fortune?
Yes.
Ms. Dong?
Yes.
Ms. Barraza?
Yes.
Ms. Logue?
Yes.
And I too am in favor. The motion passes.
Calling the next case. Calling BOA 1407026, 326 K Street. This is to create 2 new dormers located on the 3rd floor of the existing roof of the main house. The violation is Article 68, Section 29, roof structure restriction. Name and address for the record, please.
All right, the applicant is on. Can you raise your hand, please, for this project? Okay. Mike, just sent a request to unmute you, and I'm making you a panelist. Can you unmute yourself and state your name and address for the record, please?
You have me now? Hello?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Mike Lahern, 190 Willett Street, Quincy, Massachusetts.
You want to tell us what you're proposing?
Yes, good morning, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. I am proposing to erect 2 dormers on the existing 3rd floor of a residential single-family on 326 K Street in South Boston to provide more adequate ventilation and natural light, as well as better access. As the building is currently structured now, you have to bend to the left to go up to the 3rd floor from the 2nd floor. The existing ceiling height on the 3rd floor is adequate, but there is only one window in the front and one window in the back for each bedroom. So I'd like to get more light into that area, if possible.
Okay.
We don't have any increase in the FAR.
Okay. No increase in the FAR, just as additional light, and there's no change to the roof height?
No change to existing roof peak height, other than obviously the dormer changing the gable slope.
Okay. Do you have any elevations there that show us what the dormers are going to look like?
I submitted all the plans online. I don't have them with me.
Okay, that's existing.
That's existing, correct.
I keep going. That's existing.
Correct.
Okay, still.
Existing rear view.
Yep. Keep going. Okay.
There they are.
All right, so that, all right, 2 dormers on either side, matching symmetrical dormers. Okay. Ms. Barraza, how are the drawings?
Mr. Chair, the drawings are adequate.
Any questions from the board? Is there anyone here to testify on the project?
Morning, Mr. Chair, members of the board. I'm Anna Way with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. ONS hosted an abutters meeting for 326 K Street on October 20th, 2022. Very few people attended, but the 2 abutters, one of which who is the head of the Gate of Heaven Neighborhood Association, who were there, expressed support for the project. One abutter could not make the meeting and wrote to me with a question and that the proponent answered promptly. The abutter was then also in support of the proposal. At this time, we'd like to defer judgment to the board. Thank you very much.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Ana Calderon from Council President Flink's office. The councilor would like to go on record in support based on feedback from neighbors and the Gate of Heaven Neighborhood Association. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Paul Sullivan, City Council at Large, Michael Flaherty. Although the council stands towards Article 60 has been consistent, there are certain projects that do have merit, and this may be one of them, as the proponent has worked very well with the butters on this project, and I defer to the board. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else?
No additional raised hands.
All right, can I have a motion, please?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to put forward a motion of approval with BPDA Design Review paying special attention to the design of the dormer and windows to work within this context.
Mr. Fortune?
Yes.
Nong?
Yes.
Ms. Barraza?
Yes.
Ms. Logue?
Yes.
I too am in favor. The motion passes.
Calling the next case, calling BOA 139-5837, 224 West 9th Street. This to combine lots 226 West 9th, lots 10 and 12, erect a new 4-story, 6-unit multifamily dwelling with front decks and 5-car garage. The existing dwelling at 226 West 9th will be demolished under a separate permit. The violations, Article 68, Section 29, maximum allowed height on the lot has been exceeded. Article 68, Section 8, insufficient additional lot area per unit. Article 68, Section 8, excessive FAR. Article 68, Section 8, insufficient open space per unit. Article 68, Section 8, insufficient front yard setback. Article 68, Section 8, insufficient rear yard setback. Article 68, Section 8, the maximum allowed height sub-district has been exceeded. And Article 68, Section 33, insufficient parking. Name and address for the record, please.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Attorney John Fulgini on behalf of the applicant. With me today is Eric Zackerson, who is the team architect. As Mr. Fortune read out, this is 224-226 West 9th Street in South Boston. The zoning in this neighborhood is multifamily residential. This lot size is 3,500 square feet, and that is accomplished by combining 224 West 9th, which is 1,760 square feet, with 226 West 9th, which is 1,740 square feet. The proposal, as Mr. Fortune stated, is to raise the existing 3-family residence on 226 West 9th combine the lot with the existing vacant lot on 224 West 9th and erect a 4-story, 6-unit multifamily dwelling with front decks and 5-car garage. The proposed building would be approximately 8,595 square feet, and the unit mix reflects that. The violations on this, we have additional lot area, 1,000 square feet, we have 250. FAR is 2, we're at 245. Height 40, we're at 4510. Open space 200, we're at 76. Front yard is 5, we're at 0. But if you look at the tablets, it meets the model. These houses on the street are all built to the lot lines. Side yard is 3 feet and 3 feet, and 4 feet on the left. Rear yard is 20 feet. We are, this is a shallow lot rule, so it's 15 feet. We're at 5 feet, but again, that's consistent with the abutting properties. Parking requirement is 1.5, and we're at 0.8. The program is, there'll be 1 2-bed, 2-bath. It'll be a 900 square foot ADA unit. There are 3 2-bed, 2-baths. Those are 1,100 square feet each, and 2 3-bed, 2-baths at 1,500 square feet. The building program is on the ground level. There's a 5-car parking garage, and then there's that 2-bed, 2-bath, 900 square foot ADA unit. Second floor, 2 bedroom, 2 baths, 1,100 square feet. And the third floor is 1 2-bed, 2-bath of 1,100 square foot unit. And the entrance floor to 2 3-bed, 2-baths, 1,100 square foot unit. And the fourth floor is the master bedroom living space for the 2 3-bed, 2-bath, 1,100 square foot units. We went through a long community process, received support of the Civic Association as well as the butters. And at this point, we'll turn it over to the board with any questions you may have. Thank you.
Okay, so what are the other uses of the buildings immediately abutting the proposed building?
So it's a good question. It's kind of a mix. It's a 3-family district. You have singles, you have multifamily residentials, you have a 30-unit building across the street. So it's all residential, Mr. Chair.
Okay, and the lot size you said is 3,500 square feet?
That is correct.
All right, and what is the footprint of the building? You know what the dimensions are? How many square feet?
You mean the base of it? The whole building?
I guess what I'm asking is how much of that lot is used?
It's, you're looking at a 20, go ahead, I'm sorry, Eric, you might want to.
Mr. Chairman, the ground floor is about 2,750 square feet, including both the unit and the garage space.
Okay, can one of you describe the parking? The garage entrance is on the left as you face the building. Remind us how many spaces again?
Five parking spaces inside.
Okay.
3 full and 2 compact.
All right. Do we have any? Can we show a plot plan showing the garage? I mean, a floor plan.
Yeah, it should be up in the upper left, right there.
Yeah. Whoa.
Backward page.
Go back, please. Okay, there we go.
There.
Up left. All right. Is there? Mr. Fortune, has Mr. D'Amico weighed in on maneuverability?
I don't have anything from Mr. D'Amico. I don't think he's on either.
Okay. All right. Ms. Barraza, how are the drawings?
Mr. Chair, the drawings are adequate. I do have a question for the architect in regards to the base flood elevation. This is in a coastal flood resilient overlay district, and there's some guidelines. What is your base flood elevation for this area, and what is the lowest level elevation of your unit, of your dwelling unit?
I will have to, I'm not sure off the top of my head.
Yeah, it wasn't noted on the section.
Yeah, the base flood elevation is 18 feet, but off the top of my head, I can't remember where this is in relationship to that.
5 years. They're trying to think through very holistically, without going into too much detail about route by route. What is the sort of content, and how should we? So this
the base
committee consists of representatives from all these towns.
I'm sorry, I was muted. I said, Ms. Barraza, there wasn't we obviously didn't get called out for a violation on that from ISD. We will continue our work with the BPDA as well as ISD on the coastal flooding issues.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, Mr. D'Amico is now on. He has his hand raised. Can whoever's talking mute themselves, please?
I think that's Robert D'Amico's background. I tried to.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Bob D'Amico, BTV, I reviewed this plan for parking, and it complies.
First and foremost, we are recommending that the bus number 3 sign come back annually.
Can Mr. Zackerson mute himself, please?
And essentially give a update and certify path forward on an annual basis.
Mr. Chair, you're muted.
Whoa, everybody got
The
muted.
circus just came to town. I'm muted.
Yeah, thank you, Ms. Barraza. All right, so the issue, I mean, the project may not have been cited for the flood zone issues, but it is clear it is in a flood zone, and the design has to reflect the realities and the requirements involved. So we will need some. Mr. Hampton, what is your view? What's the BPDA view of this project?
So our concerns on this project were not only the coastal flood resilience, but the lack of open space, 3 feet on one side, 4 feet on the other. So we recommended denial without prejudice, but if it's something that could be reworked through a design, I don't know, Ms. Betta Barraza, if that's something that you feel could be done. It's just something where there's a real lack of open space in this project, and that's a big concern.
Mr. Hampton, is the proponent's suggestion that this is comparable to other projects in the area, being close to lot lines? Is that your feeling or not?
That's what I'm seeing.
Well, the other thing too is you're creating a new building, right? You're knocking down an existing building, combining lots, putting up a new building. So you might be able to, increase the open space if this is something that's brand new. But I would defer to Ms. Betta Barraza on a design issue.
All right, Ms. Barraza, what you were about to say?
Yeah, I was just going to say that the massing of the building seems like it works within the street. It's pretty close, the buildings, they're right next to each other. If I was to make a motion, I think I would cover some of the bases of our original concern, but I think it's okay within the density of the area.
Okay. All right, any questions from the board? Can we take testimony at this point?
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Ana Calderon from Council President Flink's office. The councilor would like to go on record in support based on a good community process and feedback from neighbors and the City Design Neighborhood Association. He respectfully requests for BPDA design review and that the proponent continues to work with the neighbors during the construction phase. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, Secretary, we do have letters of support.
Okay.
Noah, you need legal testimony here? Go ahead.
Yeah, this is Noah Dweck. I'm a neighbor at 461 East 6th Street in South Boston. I just wanted to speak in support of this project. I think it's a great project.
Thank you.
Okay, Evan, go ahead.
Hi, this is Evan Thompson from 188 West 9th Street. I'm in favor of this project, and I would like to go on record and support this project. Thank you.
Yep. John Burns. Go ahead.
This is John Burns, owner of 222 West 9th Street, direct abutter, and I am in support of the project. Thank you.
Thank you.
Pamela and Scott sent a request on you. Go ahead. Hi, can you state your name and address for the record, please? Okay. Open it up to Paula. Can you state your name and address for the record, please, once unmuted?
Hi, my name is Paula Marr, 853 East 3rd Street, South Boston. I'm in support of this project.
Thank you, and I have no additional raised hands.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Paul Sullivan, City Council at Large, Michael Flaherty. Although his stance with Article 68 has been consistent, there, as you've heard, there is significant support, including amongst the butters. This project may have merit, and therefore the council would defer to the board.
Thank you. Can I,
Oh, sorry, I do have another raised hand here. Pamela and Scott, I did unmute you earlier. Can you hear us? Can you quickly state your name and address for the record, please? Let us know. I think there's some connectivity issues there. Hello? Okay, never mind. I'm sorry. No additional raised hands.
Mr. Chair, I didn't hear did the mayor's office speak on this one? I don't think we heard.
no,
I think I heard them either.
Sorry about that. We had another liaison cover this proposal. At this time, we're going to defer to the judgment of the board. There were no concerns raised during the community process that was hosted. I would defer to the board. Thanks. Sorry.
okay, thank you.
Mr. Chair, just so you know, they just sent in the chat that McPherson's are in support.
Okay, thanks. Can I have a motion, please?
Mr. Chair, I would like to put forward a motion of approval with a proviso that the applicant complies with the Coastal Flood Resilient Overlay District guideline and to not have, and therefore not to have dwelling units below the base flood elevation.
Second.
Mr. Fortune,
Yes.
Ms. Dong,
Yes.
Ms. Baraza,
Yes.
Ms. Logue,
Yes.
and I too am in favor. The motion passes.
Thank you, everybody. Have a nice holiday.
2. Calling the next case, calling BOA 135-4015, 50 B Street. This is to add 2 roof decks and a head house for private use. The violation is Article 18, Section 1, front yard is insufficient, and Article 16, Section 1, the building height is excessive in feet. Name and address for the record, please.
Eric Zackerson, architect for the project. Mr. Chairman, the owners would like to seek an administrative deferral based on the 5-member board.
I'll make a motion for deferral.
Oh, second. You're muted, Mark Ehrlich.
Once again, Mr. Fortune,
Yes.
Ms. Dong,
Yes.
Ms. Baraza,
Yes.
Ms. Logue.
Yes.
I too am in favor. The project is deferred.
Thank you.
You'll be deferred till February 28th, at 9:30.
Okay,
Calling the next case, calling BOA 128-9900-211 Endicott Street. This is to confirm occupancy of one family, demo of the existing building, leave existing foundation intact. The addition of the 4th floor with a head house and access to roof deck. The violations, Article 54, Section 18, roof structure and building height restrictions. Article 32, Section 4, G-code applicability. Article 54, Section 10, the floor area ratio is excessive. And Article 54, Section 10, the rear yard is insufficient. Name and address for the record, please.
Mark McDowell, 7 Unity Street. Members of the board, thank you each for your time this morning. I'm the architect for 211 Endicott Street. This project is for a single-family home of the owners, Patty and John Esposito, and their 4 young children. Project is in the north end, subject to Article 54 of the zoning code. We have 4 violations, as you see here. The G-code issues have been addressed with plans that are approved by Boston Water and Sewer.
okay.
No harm letter.
Let me stop you right there. Let's deal with G-cod right off the bat. Mr. Simonelli, are you here?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, good morning. Christian Simonelli, Boston Groundwater Trust. On behalf of myself and our trustees, I want to thank all of you for your years of service. This is a form of public service, and serving on the board is no easy task, especially these past 3 years during remote hearings. I want to state that the city has been very fortunate to have all of you, and I wish you all of the best moving forward. And we have both members.
Thank you, Kristen.
Thank you.
Okay, can I have a motion on the G-cod, please?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right, Mr. Fortune,
Yes.
Ms. Dong,
Yes.
Ms. Baraza,
Yes.
Ms. Logue,
Yes.
and I too am in favor. All right, let's move to
And we do have the letter from Boston Water, Mr. Chairman.
All right, very good. Now, to the applicant, let's move to the project itself.
Wonderful. Thank you, Christian. Go on to the next slide, if you will, and we'll focus on these remaining 3 items. This is a street view rendering of the project. We're looking to renovate this property in keeping with the neighborhood character. You'll note its building height negotiates between the 3-story building and the 5-story building on either side. Next slide, please. This is the existing condition. We are not modifying the building footprint. Slide. You can see 211 Endicott here highlighted in yellow. It is part of a group of 3-story buildings that are surrounded by taller 5-story buildings. Our project at 211 Endicott will reuse the existing foundation and the building footprint, but rebuild the structure and add another level, as well as a roof deck, a deck to the rear yard, and a staircase penthouse. Next slide. And again, going forward, we'll talk about the height first. That's Article 54, Section 18. Next slide. You can see the existing condition on the left and the new condition on the right. We are adding a 4th level. We are adding the head house and the deck. I want to speak just briefly about the head house because I know that's not typically something approved by this board. There is ample precedent in the immediate vicinity for this, both to the right, a project that is under construction right now, and I have photos, if I may share my screen later, to attest to that, and a head house expansion at 209 Endicott, building on the right of this image. That's 1 story taller than ours, as well as across the street at 210 Endicott, where there is a 2-story head house. So I'd ask only that you consider this request in light of that context, as well as our adherence to Article 54, Section 18, which is basically it is set back from the street the appropriate distance and below the 55-foot height. Next slide. The second issue is about the FAR being excessive. You can see a breakdown here. It's basically just a very small single-family lot. To go up the way that we've drawn it, we just barely are over the 3.0, which is allowed by the FAR in the zoning code. Most of that is consumed by, or a fair bit of it is consumed by things like the stairwell in this case, due to the small lot size. Next slide. The final violation for which we seek relief is about the insufficient rear yard. Again, like I said, we are not changing the footprint of the building. However, we are proposing a deck which extends the height of the kitchen off the back. You'll note that the adjacent structure builds directly to the lot line with a 1-story addition to their building. We will also build to the lot line with this deck, and there's been a request from the rear neighbors that we have a 6-foot fence along that deck, which we are happy to comply with.
Wait, before you leave that slide there. So this deck is going to be on top of that cinder block structure on the left?
No, the cinder block structure is on the lot line of 209 Endicott.
Okay,
we
so
are
that's
standing in the property 211.
All right, so your building is just the brick that we're looking at?
Our building is actually the one with the kind of off blue siding, and you can see the deck with the brick steps going up to it. We are talking about extending that deck to the lot line and putting a fence for privacy of the neighbors.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. I'll conclude here. We do have the full drawings in the back of this presentation, which I think we'll want to review just to make sure that they're adequate. I want to reiterate the neighborhood support for this design as shared with you today. The support is not unanimous, but notably we do have the support of New Rock, one of the community advisory groups that voted on this project. New Nick, which is the other community advisory group, has also been kept abreast since we first reached out to request a hearing with them on February 2nd. And that's documented on emails, which ONS is also a part of. Full disclosure, New Nick did ask on Friday evening to have a voting meeting with them. And after discussion with ONS, we felt like this 11th hour request places an undue burden on the client. So after discussion, we decided to move forward with today's hearing. We welcome all conversations. It's just, it places a significant financial burden on this residential client. So with that, I'd open it up to any questions.
Okay, is there, yeah, can we scroll down through the drawings? I'd like to see a rear elevation.
Yep, that's in the drawings. There's the rear.
Okay, so that shows that deck that you're talking about. All right. All right, what is the size? This is a very sizable head house. What is the size of the head house?
If you go actually a little bit farther, I think you'll see the plans, and that will clarify that. That's the existing addition. Here we see the head house. So if you zoom in, for example, on the top left, it'll make it clear that we're all talking about the same thing. So the stairwell continues up. This is a new code compliant stair, replacing the earlier stair, which is not in keeping with today's codes. We have enough access for a doorway to swing open there and then allow access down the stairs. It is notably smaller than the adjacent structure's head house expansion, which is currently in construction right now.
Okay, so its use is nothing other than enclosing a staircase and an egress and access.
And circulation.
Yeah, okay.
Right, and it's serving just the family who will live here.
Okay, and it's a spiral staircase going up. All right.
Yep.
As you are correct that this board has a long history of not wanting to see head houses on the top of buildings. How far is this set? Have you you have a view of whether it's visible from the street?
Yeah, I'd like to go back to the rendering to talk about that specifically. And that is a view basically taken from across the street, actually a little bit farther. This kind of intersects. Yeah, that one is good. Sorry, go back to that rendering there. So that's a view from across the street as you walk. Sorry, the rendering, the perspective view.
Yeah, we got it. All right, Ms. Barraza, how are the drawings?
Mr. Chair, the drawings are adequate. If you can just clarify that there's a sink at the penthouse, am I reading that correctly?
Yes, yeah, sharp eyes. There is a sink at the head house, just the utility for while they're on the roof, not having to walk down to the kitchen.
Okay.
Is there anything else besides the sink? I didn't pick that up.
Yeah, you can go back to a sink and a mini fridge in that circulation space.
Oh, okay, so it's more than this. Okay.
And then I do see in the Google Earth a substantial size penthouse, almost diagonal, under construction. I'm just wondering if Jeff Hampton can speak on that, if that was approved by this board.
Thank you, Ms. Barraza. Actually, I was looking up the decision on this, and these were coming from 2021, and I have no provisos on this approval for next door at 209. There's no proviso listed at all. So
Okay.
I don't know what else to say about that one.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
for that.
No provisos, meaning that it was approved as drawn.
Approved as drawn, and even in the description of the decision letter, it has a head house.
Oh, it's a little surprising. I'm not.
Yeah, it's pretty, exactly, because this board tends not to.
I actually don't recall almost any. I mean, there have been, when it's an elevator or head house, or when it's a large building, that's one thing, but I don't recall buildings of this size ever being approved without a hatch instead of a head house. I mean, my memory is perfect. I know that for sure.
Yeah, I mean,
this was actually signed September 7th, 2021.
Not that long ago.
September
Worth noting that's a
2021.
multi-family building.
Yeah, no, we don't. No, we typically have not approved head houses even on multifamily buildings, assuming that the access is for the top unit only. If it's a case where it's access is for the entire building, then I think there have been cases where we've been okay with a head house. But anyway.
Again, just in terms of precedent, but thank you for, I don't have any further questions.
I mean, could this conceivably be replaced? Could this head house be replaced by a hatch?
It's an issue of code compliance and safety. Technically, the building code really prefers a full head house, though I know that's at odds with zoning code.
You're preaching to the choir on that one. We grant building code relief on a regular basis.
They do have 4 young children, just recently 4, and so this seems like the right choice for a young family with active children. It's what I would want in my own home, considering the welfare of those children.
Well, first of all of our decisions are tied to the property and not to the current ownership, because the ownership may change. So that actually is not that helpful. And I'm a little bit I'm troubled by this, the neighboring one. I really honestly don't recall having ever been open to granting that. I just am curious as to what the conditions were that pushed us to grant this. Anyway, all right. Is there anyone who wants to testify on this project?
Hi, yes, good morning, Mr. Chair, members of the board. I am Sarah D'Amico from the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. 211 Endicott Street did have a long community process, whereas it started back in last December. The Landmark Commission meeting was held on December 8th. Applicant did reach out to NURA and they CC NUNIC, and they did receive a letter of non-opposition from NURA. Although NUNIC never connected with the applicant, they did reach out with some current concerns once they saw that they were on the agenda, stating that direct abutters had some concerns with the overflow onto their property and requested that I brought that to the board's attention. At this time, our office would like to defer to the board's judgment. Thank you.
Can you explain what you mean by overflow onto the property?
Yeah, there was just some construction concerns they had. I'm not sure about the certain details, but they just expressed some major construction concerns that they had.
Okay, those are with respect to construction, not the ultimate project.
I think to the overall project, but that was expressed to the NUNIC board.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Chair, Secretary here, we do have the letters the Mayor's office just spoken.
Okay. Anybody else?
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. Can you hear me? City Councilor at Large Michael Flaherty.
Yep.
Morning, Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen of the board. Just want to go on record in support of the petitioner. It's a great North End family that's committed to the community with 4 small children that are attending the Elliott School, and committed, obviously, to the neighborhood, to the city, and to make this their forever home. So I know they've worked hard with the neighbors. Initially, I believe the fire escapes to the abutters ran through the children's bedrooms. I believe that issue has been addressed, but this is a great opportunity to have a family stay in the North End and stay in the city, which is contrary to what's been going on across the city. So I welcome any questions or comments, but I just want to go on record in support of the petitioner. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen of the board.
Thank you, Councilor.
There are a few raised hands here. Michael, you're on the panelist side. Are you looking to give testimony here?
Yeah, my name is Mike Netti. I'm a direct abutter of 209 Endicott Street. By the way, 209 head house is pre-existing head house. So the concern...
Okay, and that explains it. Thank you.
You're welcome. So the concern that I have, I'm not opposing the project, but I do have some concern about the way they're handling the overflow of the water from the roof. And that's going to affect my basement directly. They are in a flood zone, and they have started construction in the basement without a permit, and I'm not sure what's going on in there. So, and there hasn't been a full community process. They have bypassed the community process. They went through the landmark that I was just made aware this morning. No notification was given to me or anybody else, either by email or by posting on the building. So I'm just asking that the board defers this until some of the issues are addressed. There's a few issues that concern water and how they're handling the water and some of the construction thing. And the owner have refused to meet or address the issue. Again, we're not opposed to the project. We're opposed to it. We're suggesting that they defer until all the community process is gone through and they address some of the issues.
Thank you. Robert Della Russo, are you looking to give testimony here?
Yes. Mr. Chairman, members of the board, thank you for my call. Mr. Esposito and 211 Endicott Street, I want to say I want to be in full support of the project. My address is 24 Fleet Street in the north end of Boston, but I also own 210 and 212 Endicott Street, which is directly across the street from this project. I believe that the renderings that I've seen and the conversation that I've had with Mr. Esposito has assured me that this project conforms with the neighborhood, look of the neighborhood, unlike some other projects that have been done prior. This one here, I like the brick look, I like the way it's done, and I believe that Mr. Esposito and his design team has followed all the rules and regulations of ISD and also the zoning board. With that, thank you very much for taking my call.
Thank you.
I have two additional raised hands. If you could just get right to Denise and then Sebastian. Denise, can you state your name and address for the record, please? Give us new information.
Sure, yes. My name is Denise Clancy, and I am a resident of 208 Endicott, almost directly across the street. And I am in support of these new neighbors for a whole host of reasons, none the least of which is at this end of Endicott Street, we tend to be under constant construction. There's so many different projects going on, and they have been very responsive to any concerns that I might have had or my family might have had as they've gone through this process. I wholly support.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, Sebastian, go ahead.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, members of the board. My name is Sebastian Parra. I am the East Boston liaison for Councilor Gabriela Colera. The councilor has heard from the community that they had requested an abutters meeting before going before the ZBA. And for that reason, the councilor has no stance at this moment.
Thank you.
Okay, thank
No
you.
additional raised hands. Thank you.
Is that it?
Yep, no additional raised hands.
Mr. Chair, it's Jeff Hampton again. Just to confirm what an earlier member of the public had said about an existing head house at 209, I did pull up the plans, and that is indeed true. It was already existing.
All right, well, I mean, then, because that was really puzzling why we would have endorsed a new one, so that explains that situation. All right.
I might, if I may, pardon me, I just shared an image in the chat which shows that expansion. I agree that there was an existing head house. It has been expanded more than 50% of its original size in the last several months. So it was that to which I was referring.
Okay.
I can share that on the screen, or it's in the chat.
Can't share it on the screen, so, all right, thank you. I'll entertain a motion at this point.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to put forward a motion, given that there's some precedents in its adjacencies. I'm going to put a motion to approve with a proviso that the BPDA does a design review on the size of the head house and to ensure that it fits within its context.
I'll second that motion, Secretary.
Mr. Fortune?
Yes.
Ms. Dong?
Yes.
Ms. Barraza?
Yes.
Ms. Loeb?
Yes.
And I'm reluctant in my last meeting to approve a head house, but I think that Ms. Barraza's suggestion to the BPDA is appropriate, so I will also vote in favor and the motion passes.
Mr. Chair, would you like, it's 10:50, before I call it 10:30, would you like to do your comment in regards to that number board?
Okay, Mr. Fortune is about to call the 10:30s for withdrawals or deferrals. We have a 5-member board, which means that every single member has to vote in favor of a project for it to pass. Ordinarily, we're 7-member, so that any applicant is entitled, based on the shortage of members, to seek an administrative deferral and have it granted. And Mr. Fortune will now proceed with those requests.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Is there anybody that has had a 10:30 hearing that wants to defer or withdraw their project? They give me the address first, please.
280 Chelsea Street.
Thank you. For the record, calling BOA 134-1065-280 Chelsea Street. Name and address for the record, please.
Maureen Scatino from Richard Linz's office, 245 Sumner Street in East Boston, requesting an administrative deferral.
Make a motion for deferral.
Okay, Mr. Fortune?
Yes. You need a second, Mr. Chair.
Second.
Yep. Okay, Mr. Fortune?
Yes.
Dong?
Yes.
Raza?
Yes.
Ms. Logue?
Yes.
And I too am in favor. The project has been deferred.
You'll have a date of February 28th at 9:30.
Thank you, everyone. Happy holidays.
You too.
128, 134 North Street, Mr. Secretary.
Thank you, Counselor. Sorry, say the address again? I'm sorry.
128-134 North Street.
Okay. On case BOA 136-7237, 128-134 North Street. Name and address for the record, please.
Good morning, once again, Mr. Chair, members of the board, Attorney Matt Eckel with Drago and Toscano, the business address of 11 Beacon Street. We are also seeking an administrative deferral this morning.
Make a motion for deferral.
For a second?
Motion. Second.
Mr. Fortune?
Yes.
Ms. Dong?
Yes.
Raza?
Yes.
Ms. Logue?
Yes.
And I too am in favor. The motion passes.
You'll have a date of February 28th at 9:30.
Thank you very much.
Are there any other deferrals or withdrawals for the 10:30 hearings?
9 Sydney Street.
Thank you. For the record, calling BOA 140-6159, 9 Sydney Street. Name and address for the record.
Attorney Ryan Spitz, Adams and Moranci, business address of 168 H Street, first floor, South Boston. First, I just want to say thank you to all of you for your years of service and welcoming those of you that will be joining us entering into the new year. Wish you all the best of luck. We're here today to request an administrative deferral.
I'll make a motion for deferral.
Second.
Mr. Fortune?
Yes.
Ms. Dong?
Yes.
Ms. Raza?
Yes.
Ms. Logue?
Yes.
I too am in favor. Motion deferral passes.
You'll also have a date of February 28th at 9:30.
Great, thank you.
Are there any other deferrals or withdrawals?
54-60 Rogers Street.
For the record, calling BOA 138-1733, 54-60 Rogers Street. Name and address for the record, please.
Good morning, my name is George Moranci. I'm an attorney with the business address of 350 West Broadway in South Boston, requesting an administrative deferral, please.
I'll make a motion for deferral.
Second.
Mr. Fortune?
Yes.
Ms. Dong?
Yes.
Raza?
Yes.
Ms. Logue?
Yes.
Two in favor. The motion, the request is granted.
You'll also have a date of February 28th at 9:30.
Thank you.
Are there any other deferrals or withdrawals for the 10:30 hearings? Hearing none, I'll go to the last case of 9:30, calling BOA 138-4453, 94 Horace Street. This is a proposed 4,663 square foot, 3-story infill addition at the Brook Charter School, an existing courtyard space. The violations, Article 27G, East Boston iPod, Article 53, Section 56, off-street parking and loading, Article 53, Section 9, the floor area ratio is excessive, Article 53, Section 9, the building height is excessive in feet, Article 53, Section 9, the rear yard is insufficient. Name and address for the record, please.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. My name is Katie Ferrier, and I'm speaking as part of the architectural team on behalf of Brook Charter School. I'd like to, excuse me. So as you can see here, this is the survey, which was submitted as part of the documentation. I can go through the items. Primarily, I should start with, the school would like to build an addition to the existing courtyard in the back of the site to add a total of 5 classrooms and 3 offices. There's no change to the school charter, which is currently at approximately 550 students for grades K to 8. This project has triggered 5 conditions that we'll be seeking relief for. I'll start primarily in the back. Part 1 is the rear yard. So the existing historic building is approximately 4.5 feet from the property line. The addition will be more than 5 feet. Allowable for the rear is 30 feet. Building height, similarly, the existing building is 41 feet tall. Allowable for this zoning is 35 feet. The addition would be less than 41 feet, less than the current building. It's probably going to be a couple of feet shorter than that just because we don't need that head height. Going up the list, the FAR. Currently, the building's FAR is 1.56. Allowable for the zoning is 0.8. With the addition, the proposed FAR will be 1.76. Off-street parking and loading. Currently, there is no parking on site. It is a corner lot. It's actually a couple of lots that was combined. So parking for the staff is across the street in the Salesian parking lot and some other local areas. So in 2014, the building, you can see the kind of the wing that's on the right that goes out to the north of the page. That was added on. At that time, the school applied for it and received a variance for actually several things we talked about, FAR and some setbacks and parking. So at that time, parking, they did receive parking relief as well as loading bay relief. As part of this project, zoning would require 3 additional parking spaces and 1 additional loading bay. We just have no space on the site to account for either one of those things. And then the last thing on my list, which is actually the first, is that we are part of the East Boston Interim Planning Overlay District, and so the iPod triggers review. So I guess I'll add in the lot size is approximately 27,500 square feet when we are in a 2-family, 2,000 square foot zoning sub-district. Those are the highlights of our issues, and I'm happy to take questions. Additionally, I will add that Brooke is available on the call. We have received and submitted, as part of the administrative, 15 letters of support. So those have been forwarded to the staff in the last couple of days.
Okay, so most of the violations that you described are pre-existing.
Correct. Yes.
Okay. What new violations were triggered by this expansion?
Good point. Okay, so the rear setback would have been a previously an existing condition. The building height, also a previous condition. FAR, previously. Parking, I believe all those, although I'm not positive if the EPOD was in existence in 2014, so I'm not sure if that applied to the project at that point.
Okay. And what was the courtyard used for in the past?
Right now, it's paved over, it's asphalt. There is a little bit of space for some mechanical condenser units. There is currently a shed in that space that will be removed. It's a, kind of a small space to put bikes and things.
Not used for like recess for the school for the kids to play?
Oh, good question. So if you can go back to a site plan, I can show you. So as part of the project 2014, there was an addition. Yeah, actually, any one of these this is great. So the addition that goes kind of on the right of the page, the space that's empty next to it is a playground and turfed area that is fenced in, and that's where recess and school activities happen.
Okay, so and that's unchanged?
Correct.
Okay. And you also said this is not going to trigger an additional number of students? This is
correct. Yes, I should say that at the beginning and the end. There is no new students coming to the building. It has been designed as a K-8 school. It will continue to be a K-8 school. The charter has not increased, the same number of students.
Okay. All right, Ms. Brown, how are the drawings?
Mr. Chair, the drawings are okay. They're diagrammatic. So this is a question for the architect. Why are you not showing the elevations for the project? And I believe that on the 3rd floor, it's showing like on the threshold that there's almost like a wall, but I'm assuming that you can pass through it, and these are potential uses for classroom, I'm assuming?
Yeah, so I guess I'll start at the beginning. So part 1, the drawings that we submitted were over the summer. What I have right now are a DD level pricing package that I'm happy to forward to share separately. So we do have full architectural drawings with elevations and sections and more detail than certainly what you have in front of you. I guess the
so
second
should I assume that the elevations are going to match already what's existing?
Oh, yes, I apologize. Now I understand what you're saying. Yes, so the addition would be, it would be brick in kind of with the, similar to the existing conditions. So both the materials, punch windows in kind with the previous renovation than what the building has currently.
Okay, and I think this was the feedback from Jeff Hampton, the BPDA, that the plans were not shown, did not show adequate information. Is that correct, Jeff?
Yeah, this is the first that we've seen any plans, to be honest with you.
Oh, okay, so this is
yeah.
more than what you already saw. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so if we can go to just to the last elevation or last section. Okay, so what I'm seeing in what is white, completely in
Yes.
void, that's your
Yeah.
addition.
Correct.
Okay, and they're potentially just classrooms.
So it's 3 floors. 2 of the floors have 2 classrooms. 1 floor has a classroom on one side and 3 small offices.
Okay, and you're not adding additional students?
Correct.
Okay, and we did receive feedback from a resident that was concerned about buses blocking at Bennington Street. Can you let us know how the school has addressed some of those concerns?
Yeah, it's the last issue is existing condition issue. The addition.
We're having trouble understanding you.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to get my camera off. Understand now.
Yeah, well, while we're waiting, Ms. Baraza, I mean, there's 2 things that we could do with this. We could either make a motion to defer it until you have seen additional architectural drawings that would provide some level of comfort. The other is if we are okay with the project as a whole, we could wait to sign off on it until you've seen those drawings. We could go.
Correct. I think what I would do is I would just put a proviso that BPDA has design review on next year.
Okay. All right, well, anyway.
Oops, sorry.
Is the applicant set up to testify? Oh, or now you're
Hi.
Okay, go ahead, we can hear you.
You can hear me okay?
Yes, this is.
My apologies. Mark Loring, Chief Operating Officer for Brook Charter School. The bus issue is an existing conditions issue. It has nothing to do with the addition, given we're not increasing students or anything. However, it was an issue that was raised during our community engagement process, which we started back in March of this year. And so it's something we've worked. We don't control our buses. They are controlled by Boston Public Schools. Boston Public Schools provides the buses. However, we worked with BPS and with the neighbors to move buses that were waiting to kind of pick up kids at our dismissal time. We're blocking traffic on Bennington. We've since addressed that. They're no longer doing that. So we believe we've addressed that issue, as well as some other kind of traffic-related issues that were raised by neighbors, again, that are related to kind of existing conditions, but not directly kind of connected to this addition project.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Any questions from the board? Is there anyone here to testify on the project?
Yes, good morning, Mr. Chair, members of the board. Natalia Benitez with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. ONS hosted an abutters meeting for this proposal on October 25th. Some abutters had concerns regarding density, lack of parking in the area during construction, and more student enrollment. Other abutters were in support of the extension to allow the students to have more space, and the applicant met with the abutters numerous times in the last year to discuss the proposal. The applicant also presented the proposal to the Harborview Neighborhood Association in March, July, September, October, November, and December. The group voted to oppose the proposal with 15 residents opposing and 13 supporting. Those who opposed voiced concerns regarding more student enrollment and results of the addition of more space. They also mentioned traffic, dust from the construction, and noise. Our office received 16 letters in support and 1 in opposition. At this moment, our office will wait to defer judgment to the board. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, Secretary, we do have those letters the Mayor's Office spoke of.
Thank you. Anybody else?
few raised hands here. I'll start with CJ. Can you state your name and address for the record, please? Are you looking to give testimony here? Okay, no, I'll go over to Minor. Go ahead, Minor.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Minor Perez, representing the hardworking men and women from the Carpenters Union. First of all, I want to thank all the outgoing members for great years of service. For 15 years, I have been attending these meetings, and you guys have done a wonderful job. I also want to congratulate those remaining members. You guys, and your great intentions, and I wish you the best. Mr. Chairman, the Carpenters Union would love to go on record support on behalf of our Boston residents. Thank you.
Okay, Dot and Skip, go ahead.
Yes, we'd like to go on record in support of this project. It does not provide any hardship to the neighborhood. I think that the addition is for the existing enrollment and special needs within the school itself. And I think it will be positive for the neighborhood.
Okay. What is your address, by the way, for the record?
Oh, it's 178 Wadsworth Street, East Boston.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay.
And then CJ Livingstone, go ahead. Can you hear us? We can't hear you if you're talking. You're unmuted. Okay. Sebastian.
Good morning once again. My name is Sebastian Parra, East Boston liaison for Councilor Gabriela Coleta. The council understands that the community is divided in regards to this project, but she also understands that more classroom space is for the betterment of the students. The council fully expects that the promises they made not to increase the student population will be honored, and she hopes to see them in writing with a copy sent to the board, one to her office and one to Harborview Neighborhood Association. Until she sees this in writing, she will not be taking a stance on this project. Thank you.
Thanks. I have no additional raised hands. DJ, for some reason, we can't hear you, so I'm sorry. You have no additional raised hands.
Okay. Was there a comment from Mr. D'Amico?
Madam, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Mr. Chairman and members of the board, Bob D'Amico, BTD, because of the concerns of the community, I think the project developer should come into BTD for a construction management plan so we can approve what the intentions are for construction vehicles and parking for those who will be working on the project. This is a common practice. So I'd like to recommend that a construction management plan be as a proviso for this project.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, can I have a motion, please?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to put forward a motion of approval with two proviso. One is to have BPDA design review on the exterior, and the second is to have a BTD construction management be submitted.
Very good. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Fortune?
Yes.
Ms. Dawn?
Yes.
Ms. Baraza?
Yes.
Ms. Lowe?
Yes.
And I too am in favor. The motion passes. Mr. Fortune, before we start on the 10:30 hearing, since we definitely will not finish the agenda today, you want to do the recommendations?
You know what? Good minds think alike.
It's
Gonna
true.
do that.
Been true for years.
All right, let's pat each other on the back on that one, okay? Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm going to call the subcommittee, which met on December 8th at 5 p.m. at 1010 Mass Ave last Thursday. Calling case BOA 1310627, 26 Sullivan Street, was to replace an existing roof deck, new stair. It was approved. Case BOA 1347692, 435 Bunker Hill Street, was a proposal for a head house as a change window. It was approved with BPDA. Case BOA 1367350, 78 Washington Street, was to rebuild and expand an existing garage. It was approved with BPDA. Case BOA 1385031, 101 to 109 State Street, was to remove proviso of the previous owner. It was approved with one proviso to this applicant only. Case BOA 1347341, 23 Chestnut Street, was to construct a dormer at the rear of the house. It was approved. Case BOA 1323055, 887 Dorchester Avenue, was denied without prejudice. Case BOA 1330550, 37 Jenkins Street, was deferred to the subcommittee on 119. 2023 for re-advertisement. Case BOA 139-0449, 7 Zamora Court, was to build an additional living space, adding an expanded upper unit. It was approved with BPDA. Case BOA 134-4282, 65 Mount Hope Street, was the extension of living space. It was approved with BPDA. Case BOA 138-3742, 28 Taunton Avenue, was to extend the house in the back and side. It was approved with BPDA. Case BOA 139-4506, 20 Hazelmere Road, was to addition to make for a new kitchen and sunroom. It was approved. The rediscussion, case BOA 126-5152, 10 Carson Street, will be heard today at 11:30. It was deferred to the full board. That concludes the subcommittee's report of December 8th, 2022. Need a motion.
Can I have a motion, please? Motion. Can someone make a motion to concur with the recommendation of the subcommittee?
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Barros, second.
Mr. Fortune?
Yes.
Ms. Dong?
Yes.
Raza?
Yes.
Ms. Logue?
Yes.
And I too agree to concur with the recommendation of the subcommittee.
Mr. Chair, I'm going to call the first case at 10:30, calling BOA 139-0505, 25 Oriole Street. This is a residential tandem parking driveway, an approved curb cut. Violation Article 56, Section 8, front yard is insufficient, and Article 56, Section 8, side yard is insufficient. Name and address for the record, please. Is anybody on for 25 Oriole Street?
I do have the name on the.
Well, we can go back, unless somebody's trying to get on, I can't really understand.
I don't see anyone.
Do we have anybody on 25 Oriole? Okay, let's keep going.
Go to the next case. Calling the next case, calling BOA 140-6293, 532 to 542 River Street. This is an existing one-story commercial building. We're going to go 3 alterations, change of use, an existing commercial retail, and we've converted into a cannabis retail facility. The violation is Article 60, Section 16. The cannabis established conditional use in a CC subdistrict is conditional. Name and address for the record, please.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and chair members of the board. My name is Drew Ledbetter. Business address 31 Standard Street, Mattapan, and I'm here on behalf of Build a Life Legacy LLC.
Thank you very much. So tell us about this proposal. We have a series of questions we routinely ask about cannabis stores, the buffer zone, how far it is from a neighboring one, how close it is to schools, what the hours of operation are, security, traffic management, et cetera, et cetera. So please just walk us through the proposal.
Absolutely. I'll do a brief overview of operations and then open it up for questions. So Build a Life Legacy will be doing business as The Pot at 536 to 538 River Street in the Greater Mattapan Neighborhood District in the Mattapan Square Commercial Subdistrict. The proposed hours of operation are Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m., Friday and Saturday, 10 a.m. to 9 p.m., and Sunday, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. We've partnered with Zetronics, a security company and leader in the cannabis industry, who will have a total of 24 cameras for the facility on the interior and 8 total exterior motion detection cameras for surveillance from our private parking all the way to our front door. There'll be 24/7 recording with a 90-day footage backup. We'll also have high-impact windows with sensors. There are 8 dedicated private parking spaces with 1 dedicated ADA accessible parking spot in the 542 River Street parcel that's already designated for use as parking. In addition, there are 4 to 7 on-street parking spaces available in front of 538 River Street. This subdistrict is very densely populated. There's over 80 businesses within a quarter of a mile of us, but there are no public or private schools within 500 feet or adult daycares, and we do not have any buffer zone conflicts with any previously approved other cannabis establishments, so we have 0 buffer zone conflicts. We received our approval from the Boston Cannabis Board on October 19th, and we're working on finalizing our host community agreement with the Boston Cannabis Board at the time, with myself and my business partner, Mr. Cohen, our equity applicants with the city and the state. Any questions so far?
Yeah, so I'm sorry, you said it, but I didn't get, you were going fast, I didn't write it down. How many off-street parking and how much street parking?
4 to 7, so we'll have private parking, 8 parking spaces, and then we'll have.
Will that be for employees?
No, it will not be for employees, it will be for our patrons.
Where will employees park?
There are 3 additional public parking lots within a quarter of a mile walking distance in Mattapan Square, and we'll be providing Blue Bike membership as well as subsidized MBTA bus passes for our employees. And we're gonna hopefully be hiring mostly from Mattapan, so everybody will be within walking distance.
Okay, do these plans include a rendering of the exterior so that you can see what the facade would look like?
Yes, I submitted that later. We had a change in our architects, but we got our rendering last week, and I emailed it last week to the ZBA. I can share my screen if that's allowed, or I can share.
No, unfortunately, the screen share has to be done at this end, so. Okay, so it sounds like we don't. Madam Ambassador, do we have that or do we not? Looks, I suspect we don't, if it was just submitted.
No, we don't.
Okay. All right, too bad. Okay, so, and walk us through the internal flow as someone enters the main entrance. How are they greeted? Where are the displays? Where's the vault, et cetera?
Absolutely. If you can scroll down to that second slide, you would walk in through the 538 River Street entrance, where we have an indoor queuing space. That will be where your security check-in will happen. And after security check-in, you will enter into the floor space through the door furthest from the main entrance. And that's where you will have the floor retail area where we'll have some displays and between 5 and 7 point of sale stations. And once your purchase has been completed, you would walk back through the door into the indoor queuing space and exit back out of the 538 River Street main entrance.
Okay, well, as I'm looking at the proposed plan, what's the door on the left for?
The door on the left of the plan, that is an emergency exit access only, and we will be receiving our deliveries through that door.
Okay, so both access and egress will be primarily through the door on the right?
Correct.
Okay, and then you also anticipated my next question. Tell us about deliveries and how they're going to be handled. Hello?
Yes, I was switched over to a panelist. I think I'll be able to share my screen at this point. Deliveries will be handled during op hours. We anticipate opening at 10 a.m. We're planning on all our deliveries happening before 9 a.m., the store openings. That is where there's minimal traffic in Mattapan Square, as the other businesses have not really opened or ramped up. And we will have the delivery park in the parking lot and walk over to the second door, the 536 River Street entrance.
Okay, so the deliveries will be through that emergency, that you described as an emergency door.
Correct.
And then they go through, there will not be any deliveries while the place is open?
Correct.
Okay, so they'll walk through and go to the vault. And where will the delivery vehicles be parked while the delivery is being done?
In our private parking lot at the 542 parcel.
Okay, all right.
Mr. Chair, Mr. D'Amico, I think, has his hand raised. I don't know if he can elaborate.
Yeah, I can see that. Mr. D'Amico, did you have any comment on the traffic?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Bob D'Amico, BTV. I have a maneuverability problem with the design that I just saw. Is there any way you can scroll to the parking design? One more page. Yeah, if you can make it larger, that would be great. Okay, that's good. Great. There's 2 spaces tucked in the corner. I'd like to see them removed. And one of the spaces, as you enter to the right, I'd like to have that removed. And I'd like to have the loading zone be restricted within certain hours of the day, if that's possible. But at least minimum, I like to have 3 spaces removed, the one stuck in the corner, and one of the spaces up to the upper left.
Okay, so you're okay. Mr. D'Amico, are you talking about the two tandem spaces side by side or end to end against that wall there?
Yes, the 2 ends.
And then one across from those.
Yes, one across from them, and the 2 ends are not going to work.
Okay, so how many spaces do you think will work?
I'd say 5.
5. Okay. All right. Okay, and I think Mr. D'Amico's suggestion about a proviso on delivery hours is a good idea. All right. How are the drawings, Mr. Raza?
The drawings are adequate, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Any questions from the board? Is anyone here to speak on the project?
Good morning, Mr. Chair, members of the board, Eric James of the Mayor's Office.
There we go. Excuse me. Oh, good. So we did get a rendering up there. That's the facade. Okay, thank you. Go ahead.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, members of the board, Eric James of the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. The applicant for 532 to 542 River Street held their butters meeting on September 21st, 2022. They were met with a lot of support, very minimal opposition. The support citing that it was a new small minority business owned with an emphasis on Black ownership. And then they also had an approval by the Boston Cannabis Board as well. They met with the Greater Mattapan Neighborhood Council. They chose to support this project with specific provisos, citing the operations are on Sundays or after hours for the Church of the Holy Spirit on River Street. Parking lot design be further reviewed by Boston Transportation Department to ensure adequate parking. And they continue to participate in the Edgewater Area Business Group to improve the physical conditions of the immediate area. Outside of that, we have received a minimum of 100 letters of support for this project, and we are asking to defer our judgment to the board at this time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, Chair, members of the board. Jordan Frias here from Councilor Ricardo Arroyo's office. We'd like to go on record in support of this. Thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, members of the board. My name is Emily Polston. I'd like to go on record from Councilor Louis Jean's office in support. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, yep, thank you, Jessica. This is Councilor Murphy, and I am on to also go on record for supporting. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor.
Thank you.
Yeah, no additional raised hands.
Okay, can I have a motion, please?
Mr. Chair, hi, I would like to put forward a motion of, with 3 proviso. The first is being BPDA design review on the exterior for signage. The second is to have BTD review with a reduction of parking to 5 spaces. And the third would be for this appellant only, for this applicant only.
Okay, do we want to put a proviso in about restricting delivery times?
We can put the 4th proviso, which is to have a restriction on loading times.
The loading when the when the facility's not operational.
I'm not clear how one would do that without, I'm already putting a proviso to have a BTD design review with a reduction of parking and recommendation for loading hours. How about that?
That sounds perfect. Okay, is there a second for that?
Second.
Mr. Fortune?
Yes.
Dong?
Yes.
Braza? Ms. Braza, are you muted?
I think we just lost her.
I think so too.
Ms. Logue?
Yes.
And I am in favor, but we need the 5th vote.
Oh, she made the motion, Mr. Chair.
That she did. Did we lose her?
Yeah, she's off the screen.
Huh. Okay, I tell you what, let's proceed, and when she comes back, which I'm sure she will, let's just make sure we record and I vote for hang on, I just
Yeah, Mr. Chair, this is Tom. I just wanted to,
she said her power went off by accident, so but she will be on.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, Tom is speaking, Tom Brown.
Go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, I don't think we should proceed with any of the hearings without at least 5 board members present, because the board doesn't have a quorum to make any kind of decision.
Okay, she said she'll be on in 2 minutes.
Okay, well, we can have a quiet 2 minutes, or if you wanted to recess for maybe 5 or 10 minutes if people go to the bathroom or something.
Why don't, it's 11:26, why don't we recess till 11:30?
All right, thank you, Mr. Chair.
Recording stopped.
Let's.
Recording in progress.
Okay, Ms. Braza, when you had your unfortunate power outage, we were taking the tally on the motion to approve the River Street project. You made the motion, or we need you to record that you were an aye or an A.
Yeah, I was a yes.
Okay, so the motion passes, and good luck to the applicant. Let's keep going.
Mr. Chair, before we go to the next case, we did get a notice on regards to Blue Hill Ave, so I want to call it into the record. Regarding case BOA 1411560-646 Blue Hill Avenue, they are deferring. There was a personal matter that came up for the family, so I'll make the motion for deferral.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Fortune?
Yes.
Ms. Dong?
Yes.
Ms. Barraza?
Yes.
Ms. Logue?
Yes.
I too in favor of
The date is going to be February 28th at 9:30.
Okay.
Calling the next case, calling DOA 140-7924-33 West Globe Street. This is to remove the existing detached garage, constructed an attached two-car garage and powder room. The violations, Article 65, Section 9, the floor area ratio is excessive. Article 65, Section 9, the front yard is insufficient. Article 65, Section 9, the rear yard is insufficient. Name and address for the record, please.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. My name is Benny Bear. I'm an architect with a business address at 2001 Beacon Street, Suite 111 in Brighton, Massachusetts. The proposal is to remove the existing garage that you see on the left here. It's roughly 324 square feet. And then construct what you see on the right, drawn in red lines. It's an attached two-car garage. It's connected to the main house, and as it was just read, there's there are three violations here. The FAR, the existing FAR is already non-conforming. The increase in FAR is from 0.5 to 0.7, where from 0.54 to 0.57, and the required is 0.5. As you can see, we're improving the nonconformity on both the front yard and the side yard. This is a corner lot, so it's a tight situation, and I think it's a very simple project. I'll be happy to answer any questions that the board or the public has.
Okay, so the, hang on, can you scroll back down again? The access to the garage is from Garner Road, is that correct?
That is correct, and as you can see, noted in red, there's a proposed new curb cut because the garage is moved closer.
So will the existing curb cut be closed off and made on-street parking?
The curb cut, the existing curb cut is shown here. In reality, if you see the condition, there's really no sidewalk there, so there's no defined curb cut. But yes.
Okay, all right. Can we keep scrolling down and see what the garage looks like in terms of floor plan and elevations? Okay, so there'll be two cars. Yeah. Okay. What is the height of the proposed garage?
Can you scroll up, please? It's hard for me to see, but it's indicated on the right here.
Okay. But the peak of the garage is even with the peak of that porch roof? Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. All right, how are the drawings, Mr. Osmond?
Mr. Chair, the drawings are adequate.
Any questions from the board? Is there anyone here to speak on the project?
Yes, Mr. Chair, members of the board, Connor Newman with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. At this time, the Mayor's Office would like to defer to the judgment of the board. With background information on the community process, our office held an abutters meeting on August 23rd. Numerous abutters were in attendance and spoke that they were in support of this proposal. The applicant went on to meet with the Folk Hills Neighborhood Association, where they expressed no concerns with the proposal. With that, we defer to the judgment of the board. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Joe McEachran, City Council Frank Baker's office, like to go on record in support.
Mr. Chair, I have no raised hands.
Mr. Secretary.
Sorry, Councilor Murphy, and I would like to go on record in support also. Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor.
Mr. Chairman, the secretary here. Okay, Paul, sorry, Paul.
No problem, Mr. Fortune. Paul Sullivan, City Council, Elijah Michael Player, to a record in support. Sorry, Mr. Fortune.
It's all right, Paul. Mr. Secretary, Mr. Chair, we do have 3 letters of support.
Okay, can I have a motion, please?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to put forward a motion of approval with BPDA design review.
No, I'm gonna kick this one back to you, Ms.
That sounds
Barraza.
good.
All
I would
right.
like to put forward a motion of approval.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Fortune?
Yes.
Dong?
Yes.
Ms. Dong, are you there? Are you muted?
Sorry, yes.
Okay, Ms. Barraza?
Yes.
Ms. Logue?
Yes.
I'm in favor, the motion passes.
Calling the next case, calling BOA 138-3316, 12 Marcellus Street. This is a confirmed auction of a 1-family dwelling, change occupant to a 2-family dwelling, and enclosed rear decks. The violation is Article 50, Section 29, side yard is insufficient. Name and address for the record, please.
Leah Daniels, 12 Marcellus Street, Boston, Massachusetts.
Okay, can you tell us what you're proposing?
I'm proposing to transfer this from a single family to a 2. I'm doing no exterior construction. There's already 2 bathrooms present. I'm just adding a kitchen and doing some interior remodeling to accommodate some of my senior citizens who have been kind of displaced, unfortunately unable to afford marketable rent. So I'm trying to convert it so that I can bring my family inside the home with me.
So there's a basement, first floor and a second floor currently, correct? And it's a single family house and you want to make 1 unit first floor, 1 unit second floor?
Correct, Mr. Early.
Okay. What's the square footage of the first and second floors?
Approximately 1,100 square feet per unit.
Okay, and how many bedrooms will they have?
1-bedroom units.
Each one will be 1 bedroom.
Yes, sir.
And the basement will continue to be storage and utilities?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, and there's no change to the exterior. All right, so, and the violation of side yard insufficient is a pre-existing condition, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, how are the drawings, Ms. Barraza?
Mr. Chair, the plans are adequate.
Any questions on the board?
Mr. Chair, Secretary, is the work already been done? Has it started?
No, sir.
Okay.
Okay. Anyone here to testify on the project?
Yes, good morning, Mr. Chair, members of the board. Keisha Santana from the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. An abutters meeting was held back in September for this project, which there wasn't any notable opposition from the neighbors. And they also met with Highland Park Neighborhood Association, where everything went smoothly there as well. So at this time, we would like to defer judgment to the board. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, I have no raised hands.
Okay, can I have a motion, please?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to put forward a motion of approval.
Second.
Mr. Fortune?
Yes.
Ms. Dong?
Yes.
Ms. Barraza?
Yes.
Ms. Logue?
Yes.
And I too am in favor. Ms. Dong, what is your expected ETD
At 12:30?
12:30, okay. Mr. Fortune, should we check on the rediscussions at 11:30 if there are any deferrals or withdrawals?
Do that, Mr. Chair. You want to give you a little bit of a talk there, real quick?
What's that?
Would you like to do your talking?
Okay. We are currently a 5-member board, which means that we have a quorum, but it requires all 5 votes for a motion to pass. So as a result of being less than a 7-member board, any applicant is entitled to administrative deferral if they so choose.
So I'm going to call the rediscussions at 11:30. If there are anybody who's going to defer their project or withdraw, if you can give me the address first, please.
45 Shepherd Street, Mr. Secretary. It also has 2 companion cases under Union Street.
Okay, thank you. Calling case BOA 1258611, 89 to 91 Union Street, and there are 2 companion cases, BOA 1258613, 93 Union Street, BOA 1258616, 45 Shepherd Street. Name and address for the record, please.
Good morning once again, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Attorney Matt Eckel with Drago and Toscano with the business address of 11 Beacon Street. We are seeking an administrative deferral on all 3 of these cases.
Motion to defer?
I'll second that motion.
Mr. Fortune?
Yes.
Ms. Dong?
Yes.
Ms. Barraza?
Yes.
Ms. Logue?
Yes.
And I too am in agreement. The deferral has been
You'll have
granted.
a date of February 28th, 2023 at 9:30.
Thank you very much.
64 Clarkwood Street, Mr. Secretary.
For the record, calling BOA 1263740, 64 Clarkwood Street. Name and address for the record, please.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Attorney Derek Small, at business address of 51 Dobson Road. And we're here today seeking a deferral for 64 Clarkwood.
Make a motion for deferral?
Is there a second? Mr. Fortune?
Yes.
Ms. Dong?
Yes.
Ms. Barraza?
Yes.
Ms. Logue?
Yes.
I am also in favor. The project's been deferred.
We'll have a date of February 28th at 9:30.
Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Are there any other deferrals?
40 Lake Street? 40 Lake Street?
Yes. For the record, calling BOA 1228560, 40 Lake Street. Name and address for the record, please.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, members of the board. I'm Peter Kohansky from Goulston and Stores, 400 Atlantic Avenue in Boston, representing our client, The Common Room, seeking an administrative deferral.
Make a motion for deferral?
Second?
Mr. Fortune?
Yes.
Ms. Dong?
Yes.
Ms. Barraza?
Yes.
Ms. Logue?
Yes.
I too am in favor.
We'll have a date of February 28th at 9:30.
Thank you.
Are there any other deferrals or withdrawals?
18 to 20 Parkman
Street. Mr. Chairman.
18 to 20 Parkman Street. Calling case BOA 1268903, 18 to 20 Parkman Street. Name and address for the record.
My name is George Moranci. I'm an attorney with the business address of 350 West Broadway in South Boston, requesting an administrative deferral, please.
Motion to defer?
Second.
Mr. Fortune?
Yes.
Ms. Dong?
Yes.
Ms. Barraza?
Yes.
Ms. Logue?
Yes.
And I am also in favor. Motion deferred.
We'll have a date of February 28th.
Thank you.
23 Kenilworth, I'd like to defer.
Then, okay, and two companion cases with that?
Yes, 29 Kenilworth and 49 Dudley Street.
I have that. For the record, calling BOA 1296092, 23 Kellenworth Street. There are 2 companion cases, BOA 1296093, 27 to 29 Kellenworth Street, and BOA 1296094, 49 Dudley Street. Name and address for the record, please.
Evan Smith, 23 Kenilworth Street.
Make a motion for deferral?
Second?
Mr. Fortune?
Yes.
Ms. Dong?
Yes.
Barraza?
Yes.
Ms. Logue?
Yes.
And I too am in favor.
And those will be February 28th at 9:30.
Thank you.
Are there any other deferrals or withdrawals?
That pretty much takes care of most of them.
Hold on, Mr. Chair. I do have one case here.
Yep.
Union Ave. They're withdrawing.
Okay.
So I'm going to make a motion. I'll call it into the record. Case BOA 565-482, 26 Union Ave. They are withdrawing. I'll make a motion for denial without prejudice.
Second.
Mr. Fortune?
Yes.
Ms. Stone?
Yes.
Raza?
Yes.
Ms. Logue?
Yes.
And I too am in favor.
There are two projects still on the agenda for rediscussion that I don't think we'll get to, but we'll try our best to try to get there.
Very good. Thank you.
Going to go back to next case at 10:30, case BOA 1411 622 2296 to 2306 Washington Street. This is adding an existing use to allow a restaurant with takeout and live entertainment before and after 10:30 p.m. The violation, Article 50, Section 10, restaurant with live entertainment is conditional. Regulations that is takeout. Article 50, Section 43, off-street parking is insufficient. Name and address for the record, please.
Good morning, Chairman, members of the board. Leslie Delaney Hawkins with the law firm of Prince LaBelle Ty at One International Place in Boston on behalf of the applicant, and with me are the three principals, Bill Banfield, Teron Dorsey, and Nia Grace.
Tell us what you're proposing, please.
Thank you. We're here before you today seeking relief for a proposed full-service restaurant with seating for approximately 200 patrons, performance and event space, and takeout and catering to be located in the Bruce C. Bowling Building at 2296 Washington Street in Nubian Square. We envision this not just as performance space and restaurant, but as a community gathering space. Jazzer Band entered into a lease agreement for the inactive portion of the bowling building with the city back in 2019 after an RFP process selected this team and this concept. As you can see from the plans, and again, this is a turn-down set, the space is approximately 7,800 square feet. There will be a dedicated entrance and exit at the corner of Washington Street and Warren Street. We're proposing sit-down dining, bar space, lounge, and performance space on the ground floor with back of house to the rear and storage in the basement. Loading and deliveries will occur via the existing loading bay utilized by the bowling building and will be coordinated with the other tenants. All trash will be kept inside, so there'll be no outdoor impact for deliveries or for trash. Should we be granted the relief we've requested today, we will be returning to the licensing board and the Mayor's Office of Consumer Affairs for a liquor license and entertainment license with a 2 a.m. closing hour. The home rule petition that the city of Boston actually put forward, which will create 5 new restricted liquor licenses for the bowling building, one of which will ideally go to Jazzer Bang, actually has passed the legislature and is expected to be signed by the governor any day. So we're very excited about being before the board today. We've had a butters meeting hosted by the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. We've only received support. The principals of this group are all Black or brown Boston residents who have very deep ties in the community. We had hoped to be already open by this point following this process, but obviously the pandemic slowed us down. So we are hoping for a June 2023 opening and would love to see everyone in this space. And with that, again, we're here to answer any questions. The team is here. And I also want to just thank all of you for your service, those who are staying on. We look forward to continuing to work with you. And I'm just glad I'm not here on a cannabis item as your last item with me.
Some of us love jazz, so this is a good thing. I'm very familiar with the building, so the entrance, dedicated entrance to this will be right at the corner of Washington and Warren?
Exactly, correct.
Okay. Can we scroll back up to some of the, I'm a little confused about the use of the space. It's going to be both a restaurant and a performance space simultaneously?
Yes, it is. And I actually will ask if Bill or Ron or Nia wants to explain.
Let's leave it at that one. Okay. So in the green area, I assume that's dining, right?
That will be dining. The center will be performance. And again, this was a turn down set, so there could be some tweaks. Obviously, we'll be providing a full set prior to build out. The center will be the performance space. It's an open concept, so that will have seats and tables. Then there's also tables and seating in the green area. The purple is the private dining room, and then to your left is the bar area. but patrons will be able to enjoy the entertainment from any perspective within the space.
And the orange circle in the middle, that's a stage?
That's a stage, correct.
Okay, I see the piano off to the side. All right, and there'll be tables around the stage, so okay. Do you know how many tables there are going to be? Actually, let me ask you a different question. What's the seating capacity total, and how is it broken down in the different areas?
It's approximately 200 total seating capacity, and we're still finalizing exactly how it's going to be broken down. This is approximate, but the vast majority of it, as you can see, will be table seating throughout the establishment, with only maybe about 20 bar seats.
Okay, and there'll be no standing room where people want to watch the show, right?
Within our capacity, the majority of it is seating, and there's also kind of a lounge area over to the right, which you can see to the far right in the green.
And I assume by the title that this is going to be primarily oriented around a jazz selection of artists?
Jazz selection, but really Jazz Urbane, which is Bill Banfield's recording studio and company, focuses on jazz, but we're really going to be looking to bring in both local and national and international acts. We feel like there's nothing similar to this in the area. Nia Grace, who is one of the proponents, is the owner and operator of Daryl's in the South End, Lower Roxbury as well.
Okay. Yeah, and I mean, there isn't anything really like what you're suggesting, which is a very welcome addition. Okay, and the hours of operation will be what?
We'll be serving lunch and dinner 7 days a week, Sunday brunch to start, and we are requesting a 2 a.m. closing hour.
Okay, and what will be the relationship with the kind of the foot traffic from the bowling building, the school department, et cetera?
Because we have this dedicated entrance, and because when we think our hours of operation will be most impactful, obviously in the evening, we don't foresee that as a problem. But we are obviously the city is our landlord, so we're working very closely with the bowling building and all of the stakeholders to make sure that everything works in harmony.
If you're open for lunch, I assume that some people who work in the building will be coming down and having lunch. Is there an access from the lobby so people don't have to go outside into the dedicated entrance?
No, there is no additional entrance. They wanted to keep it separate.
Okay, so they'll go outside in the street, walk down to the corner, and then walk in that entrance if they want to do that.
Correct.
Okay. All right. How are the drawings, Mr. Raza?
Mr. Chair, the drawings are adequate. I don't really have any questions other than if you can just describe how are your 200 patrons arriving? Are they, do you see half of them taking public transportation? Is there valet parking? Is there parking that's being offered underground?
Absolutely. So we're not offering dedicated parking with the space. We do think a lot of our traffic will be foot traffic. We do want to focus on the neighborhood. But that being said, we also want to encourage other folks to come in and enjoy this as an amenity. So while there is on-street parking currently in the area, we will be in discussions as we continue with BTD for potentially putting in valet, and we're working to identify where those cars would be parked. But that is part of the conversation.
Great, thank you.
Are there any questions from the board? Is anyone here to speak on the project?
Yes, good morning, Mr. Chair, members of the board. Keisha Santana from the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. We held an abutters meeting on September 28th, in which they did receive support as well as by nearby neighbors, civics as well. At this time, we would like to defer judgment to the board. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Paul Sullivan, City Council-elect Michael Flaherty. I'd like to go on record in support. Mr. Chairman, members of the board, thank you very much for your service over the last 10 years I've been here at the ZBA, before the ZBA. And Mr. Secretary, I'll see you around the neighborhood.
Mr. Chair, members of the board, this is Emily Polson from Councilor Louis Jean's office. We would like to go on record in support. Thank you so much.
Minor, go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. Mr. Chairman, Minor Perez representing the Carpenters Union on behalf of hundreds of our members, Boston residents. I want to go on record in support, and I simply want to say that it is about time to see some great entertainment being brought to Dudley Square. For many years, our residents in Dudley, Roxbury will have to go into Back Bay, Prudential, in other places for some class entertainment. This is about time, and I'm enthusiastically supporting this project.
Thank you.
I have no additional raised hands, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Okay, can I have a motion?
Mr. Chair, I'm enthusiastic about putting a forward motion of approval.
Second.
Mr. Fortune,
Yes.
Ms. Dong,
Yes.
Ms. Barraza,
Yes.
Ms. Logue,
Yes.
and I am an aye with a second for enthusiasm. Motion passes.
Thank you very much.
Calling the next case, calling BOA 139-1362, 106 to 120 Cambridge Street. This is to move the proviso for this petition only. This will be applying for 36A with takeout, 75% takeout. The violation is Article 8, Section 3, conditional use. Name and address for the record, please. Is there anybody on for Cambridge Street? Mr.
There's a
Patel?
raised hand here.
Yeah.
Narelle. Second. Thank you. Yeah, unless. Narelle, go ahead. You've been unmuted. Unless it's someone else, can you raise your hand?
Hi, this is Neil Patel for 106
Yes.
to 120 Cambridge Street. Can you hear me now?
Yes,
Yes.
tell us what you're proposing. Hey,
Yep.
first, give your name and address, please.
This is Neil Patel, located at 106 120 Cambridge Street, Boston.
And what are you proposing?
We are taking over an existing Uptown Cafe, which used to be an Uptown Cafe, and we want to open up a Shah's Halal food place serving New York style chicken over rice, lamb over rice, and some good gyros to the community up there.
And what is the name of the proposed restaurant?
Shah's Halal Food.
Okay, and on the agenda it says this will be more than 75% takeout?
It's 100% takeout. There's no seats in there.
There's no seats at all? Okay.
At all.
It's very straightforward.
Yes.
Okay. How are the drawings, Mr. Raza?
Mr. Chair, the drawings are adequate.
Any questions from the board? Is there anyone here to speak on the proposal?
Yes, Mr. Chair, members of the board, Connor Newman with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. This time, the Mayor's Office would like to defer judgment to the board. Some background information on the community process. A flyer was circulated to abutters within 300 feet. They also met with the Beacon Hill Civic Association. There were some concerns over traffic, but ultimately they signed a good neighbor agreement with the local civic. With that, we defer to the judgment of the board. Thank you.
Anybody else?
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Ana Calderon from Council President Flink's office. The councilor would like to go on record in support based on feedback from neighbors and the Beacon Hill Civic Association. Thank you.
Thank
I have
you.
no additional raised hands. Thank you.
To the applicant, have you had experience doing takeout before in the city of Boston?
Yes, we own. We already have another location of Shah's Halal, which is open late night at 1124 Boylston Street, and we also own one more place called Madras Dosa Company in Seaport, which is open late night, and also another one called Wanga Boston that's located 102 Water Street. We are a pretty good operator in the city of Boston.
Okay, that's reassuring. All right, can I have a motion then?
Mrs. Chair, I'd like to put forward a motion of approval.
And for this applicant only with the usual takeout language?
Correct. You can add those two.
Yep. All right. Mr. Fortune?
Yes.
Ms. Dong?
Yes.
Ms. Raza?
Yes.
Ms. Logue?
Yes.
I too am in favor, and I look forward to trying your fare sometime.
Calling the next case, calling VOA 135-0113, 1145 to 1147 Saratoga Street. This is to build one dormer on each side of the building. one bathroom, wet bar, one dormer for the existing stairway, and create a one-bedroom in the attic. The violation, Article 27G, this is in the East Boston iPod. Article 53, Section 9, side yard is insufficient. And Article 53, Section 9, the rear yard is insufficient. Name and address for the record, please. Mr. Santos, no, I'm sorry. Flores?
No, Evelyn's on. Go ahead.
Hi, good morning. Yes, my name is Evelyn, and I'm the daughter of the owner. So what we're proposing is, oh, hold on, I'm sorry, I think it's asking me.
Yeah, go ahead.
Stay as attendee, is that correct? All right, so what we're proposing is to build two dormers on the side, which one will be used for a wet bar and the other one for a bathroom, and an additional dormer just for the staircase in the back. And this will be just to add extra living space for a growing family. That's all.
Okay, and this is a single-family house?
No, this is a two-family home.
Two-family. Is owner occupied on one of the floors?
Both floors, yes.
Okay, both floors. So the dormer will only affect the upper unit, I assume, the dormer?
That is correct.
Okay. All right, seems fairly, and the side yard insufficient, rear yard insufficient, they're existing conditions, are they not?
That's correct.
Okay. Ms. Barraza, how are the drawings?
The drawings are adequate, Mr. Chair.
Okay, yeah, they don't extend beyond the footprint of the building, so
It's minimum.
Yeah, okay. Any questions from the board? Is there anyone here to speak on the project? Anyone from the mayor's office?
And I have no raised hands at the moment.
Okay, this is very straightforward. So can I have a motion, please?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to put forward a motion of approval.
Second.
Mr. Fortune?
Yes.
Ms. Song?
Yes.
Ms. Barraza?
Yes.
Ms. Logue?
Yes.
And I too am in favor. The motion passes. Good luck.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, I'm going to go back to a case I called earlier, case BOA 1390505, 25 Oriole Street. Is anybody on for 25 Oriole Street? It's now,
No.
now 12:04. I'm going to make a motion for denial without prejudice.
Second.
Mr. Fortune?
Yes.
Ms. Song?
Yes.
Raza?
Yes.
Ms. Logue?
Yes.
I too am in favor.
We'll call the case for 11:30 rediscussions. Calling case BOA 135-2750, 62 North Beacon Street. This is a converted single-family to a three-family dwelling. The violations, Article 51, Section 56, off-street parking and loading. Article 51, Section 8, the use is forbidden. And Article 51, Section 9, the floor-to-area ratio is excessive. Name and address for the record, please. Is anybody on for North Beacon Street?
Don't see anyone for that one either.
No. We'll hold off on that one. Go to 10 Carson Street. Calling the next case, calling VOA 126-5152, 10 Carson Street.
Hi.
This is
Can
a
you hear me?
favor.
Oh, 1 second, ma'am. Okay, one, go through this.
What address are you, ma'am?
Hi,
She's
can you
here
hear
for
me?
I'm the panelist, sorry.
Yep, I believe she's here for that case. I just wanted to make sure
Okay,
you got
thank you. This is a paver stone driveway which can park two vehicles. Paved driveway in front of the house can let outside car move easier, inside car comes out. The violation, Article 65, Section 41, off-street parking and loading. Article 65, Section 9, the front yard is insufficient. And Article 65, Section 9, the side yard is insufficient. Name and address for the record, please.
Sure. So my mom, she owns this house and it's owner occupied and it is a single family
single-family house, and we want to do the driveway in the front yard. And at first, we want to have the 3 parking spaces and all paved with asphalt. And then we realized that the last plot plan might not have sufficient space, and we decreased the parking spot from 3 to 1 or 2, so that there will have more space left. And second, we decided to keep the triangle-shaped lawn on the front, like on the left-hand side of the front yard, so that the green area in sufficient problem can be solved too. And thirdly, we also decided to change the paved material from asphalt to paver stones. And I really need this parking spot because I had an ankle fracture a few months ago, and I'm still under recovering. And I will need to relocate it to other state in February. And my mom, she doesn't know how to drive, and hence I do need this parking spot, like just because I'm not driving to the new state.
Okay, let me ask you a couple questions. On the drawing that we're looking at, is the entrance into the house from those cross lines from the stairs going up to a deck? Is that how you get in the house?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So I think we have this come before us. Here's the issue. We don't approve front yard parking in the city of Boston, which means that, but theoretically, you've got a curb cut and a driveway, whether it's pavers or asphalt, that could be extended further back. Is there, could the driveway be extended back further into what you've got described as a lawn area?
Mr. Chair, before the applicant speaks, this came in front of the subcommittee last Thursday, and we felt it needed the full board. So that's why it was brought back.
Okay. So
if the parking spot moves to the back, would it be approved?
Yeah. Well, it won't be approved the way it is now. You can in the city of Boston, you can't have cars in front of the house.
Do you mean the parking spot needs to be at the back of the stairs, or?
It needs to be extended further back. Continue the line that you have, the driveway, extend it further back so that the front or the rear of the car closest to the street is even with the front of the house. You need to have a front lawn without a car in it.
So, is it possible that I can ask my surveyor to change it for me?
Yes.
And then, sure. So, is this case going to be deferred, or?
Well, I mean, I think
apply again?
we could either approve it with a proviso that you change or else we could defer it and you get a new drawing with a surveyor. And so in some ways, it's up to you.
I think it's better to do a surveyor mark, because on the Google images it looks pretty tight. So
Okay.
I would like confirmation of that dimension, because there's a pinch point near that entry.
With the stairs.
But the Google map was the old one, because during the renovation I cut the stairs for a little bit, so it should be some space.
Okay, well, I think Ms. Barraza's point is that it would be helpful if you had an updated surveyor's map that avoided front yard parking and gave all the dimensions at the pinch points.
Yeah,
So,
sure.
Can I have a motion?
I would like to put forward a motion of deferral.
Second.
Mr. Fortune?
Yes.
Ms. Dong?
Yes.
Ms. Barraza?
Yes.
Ms. Logue? And I agree. So to the applicant, what we're asking you to do is not much work. Take the same basic drawing, but just extend it further, have your surveyor extend it further back so there's no front yard parking, and put all of the dimensions from the lot line to the house in its.
Sure, no problem.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you so much.
And that date will be February 28th at 9:30.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
Mr. Chair, I'm going to go back to North Beacon Street, case BOA 135-2750, 62 North Beacon Street. Is anybody on for 62 North Beacon Street? Mr. Chair, it's now 12:10.
Hi, Secretary, this is Stephanie speaking. The applicant emailed me was having issues logging in.
Thank you, Stephanie.
Will he be able to log in, or should we defer it?
I sent the link again to make sure that he's able to log in, but I think it'd be best if we can maybe just defer it.
Okay.
They were logging in to ask for deferral.
I'll make a motion for deferral.
Second.
Mr. Fortune?
Yes.
Ms. Dong?
Yes.
Ms. Baraza?
Yes.
Ms. Logue?
Yes.
I too am in favor.
It'll be February 28th at 9:30.
We have actually completed the agenda, Mr. Fortune?
We have, Mr. Chair. Congratulations.
Scared off everyone.
And I also want to thank Mark Fortune and Mark Ehrlich for being on the ZBA with us and being our mentors throughout this process. Best of luck to you.
Thank you. Good luck to everyone.
Go ahead, Z.
Same goes for ONS. Thanks for all of the many long ZBA hearings over the years. It's been a pleasure. So thanks so much and wish you the best of luck.
Yes, all of your support and guidance has been invaluable, so it's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you. Not gonna lie to you, I'm not gonna miss it.
Come on. Happy holidays. Enjoy the rest of the.
Happy holidays.
Happy
holidays.
Happy holidays,
everyone.
Happy holidays.
And the
All right,
meeting is
bye.
adjourned.
Thank you.